Hey everyone, it's Samia Khan here with your Fox 10 News Now update. Happy Friday morning, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. If you guys are here locally in the valley, I hope you guys are staying out of the rain, staying dry. It's a little wet outside. In fact, I'm going to play some video for you guys in just a minute. Actually, Skyfox shot some great video of the rain. Yes, guys, those of you who are outside Arizona, it's true. We do have some bad weather here from time to time, which actually it depends on how you look at it, because for some people this rain could be a good thing. In fact, our temperatures are relatively low. The high today is set for 79 degrees, so I guess that would be a good thing for many Arizona residents, because I hear we're going to hit triple digits next week. So if you are here in Arizona, I encourage you to enjoy this weekend while it's still cool outside before we enter those triple digit temps next week. Yes, so go outside, enjoy the air. Even if it's raining, just enjoy it, because trust me, next week you'll be wishing it was 79 degrees and raining. Personal opinion, maybe you prefer the 100-degree weather, I don't know. To each their own. Want to know how you guys are doing today. I'm going to read some of your comments before I kick things off. A lot of you guys saying happy Friday. Hi Samia. Hi SK. So what do you guys have planned for this weekend? Please let me know in the comment section. And while you guys catch me up on what your plans are for this weekend in the YouTube chat, I'm going to play a video for you guys. One of the stories we talked about extensively, not only yesterday, but throughout this week, has been Sheriff Arpaio's contempt hearing. Yesterday, Troy and I chatted in the afternoon about this so-called bombshell that was dropped in court. Sheriff Arpaio admitted to the judge that his team was investigating the judge's wife, specifically comments she made that suggested that the judge did not want Arpaio reelected. What this would mean, who knows, but it would suggest that there is some sort of bias coming from the end of the judge, if that is proven true. So, after that news was dropped, obviously a lot of people reacting to it. In fact, I think it was Nicole Garcia who worked on a story last night called Arpaio Reaction. So I'm going to play the story for you guys now, and I'll be back with more news now in just a couple of minutes.
He would be outside my house with deputy cars at 5 in the morning. Later in discovery, we discovered that he looked at all my mail coming to my home. So, yes, you could feel it. It was a chilling effect.
Former Maricopa County Supervisor Mary Rose Wilcox, an outspoken critic of Sheriff Arpaio, once faced several felony charges after an investigation orchestrated by the sheriff. Those charges were later dropped. She says she's one of many that have been targeted by the sheriff for political reasons. So the revelation that he had a federal judge's wife investigated hit close to home for her.
They try to attack your family. They try to attack everything about you. And it's a fishing expedition.
Having a U.S. District Court judge's wife investigated is wrong and may be a criminal offense.
Former U.S. Attorney Paul Charlton says Arpaio used similar intimidation tactics against Superior Court Judge Gary Donahoe. Arpaio charged Donahoe with several felonies after he ruled against him in court. Those charges were later dropped.
This is exactly the way he conducts himself when he's faced with a decision by a judge that he doesn't like. He begins to do an investigation to see whether or not he can intimidate other individuals and compel them to rule in a way that's more favorable to him.
It's now up to either Judge Murray Snow or federal investigators to initiate action against Arpaio on his latest admission.
This is your sheriff. Don't keep electing him. He needs to be out of office. He needs to be in a jail.
All right, guys, what's your take on this Arpaio story? I know we chatted about it quite a bit yesterday afternoon, but I'd love to hear your thoughts after playing this story. While you guys type those in, I'm going to start reading some of your other comments in the YouTube chat. I asked you guys what your plans were for this weekend. I'm going to read some of them. It looks like Tamaro Benz is going to be doing yard work and gardening. Well, Tamaro, that's probably because you're not in Arizona, because right now it's a little too wet to do yard work outside. Savannah Rose chiming in, 70 degrees and breezy here. Loving it. Savannah out in South Carolina, if I recall correctly. Let's see, what else are you guys saying? Ashley Gray has casino night planned with the girls. PFC Ebersol saying I'll be volunteering at Pat's Run. I'll be on the 3rd mile station. Very cool, PFC Ebersol. I'm sure there's going to be many people out there involved in Pat's Run. I think there are a handful of people who work at Fox 10 that'll be partaking as well, PFC Ebersol. Jackie K saying she's going to be doing housework. You want to come and help. Jackie K, you know what? Although I'm the helpful type, I'm going to have to pass on that only because I have my own housework to do. My entire apartment, I feel like, is just an entire mess because I spent a lot of this week just sleeping early because they always say it's the best cure for sickness is just to sleep it off. So there were many days this week where I went to bed. Actually, every single day this week, I think I went to bed between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. So very early, relatively speaking. And long story short, I did not clean up anything in my house. It's kind of destroyed. I feel like there are clothes everywhere, dishes. I'm going to have to do my own housework, Jackie K, is the point of this story. So you do your housework, I'll do mine, and maybe we can talk about it on Monday. Let's see. Rachel is saying she's going to be doing shopping and cleaning. Jane Wilcox trying to get the vermin out from under my house. It looks like a lot of people just have a lot of chores to do this weekend. Bina is saying that she's going to finish writing her resume and look for a job. Anyone need a virtual assistant? Hey, Bina, no harm in pitching yourself in this chat room, right? Because these are all, your virtual friends. You never know who might need a virtual assistant. Billy Phoenix, 2001, wants to know why wouldn't Arpaio investigate a corrupt judge and his corrupt wife? The judge should be pulled off that case immediately. Yeah, I mean, it is very controversial. One of the things that Troy had said yesterday afternoon when he joined me on News Now was, in his opinion, just if there is any sort of bias, it's better to just have a judge presiding that is more neutral because you don't want there to be that sort of conflict of interest. Let's see. Billy Phoenix adding, Arpaio's being targeted based on political beliefs and doing his job as sheriff.
Does she have any medical paperwork?
Let's see. Thank you guys for enjoying my hair. I just styled it. This is what happens when you wake up for an extra 20 minutes in your morning. Samia, my apartment looks the same. No worries. Yes, Savannah, I do need a maid. Blazer shopping, Samia, PFC Ebersol. No. I am looking forward to the blazer that Ron will return to me here on News Now. In fact, I actually brought a blazer for those of you who are watching. I brought a black blazer just in case I get cold because sometimes they keep the newsroom quite cold here. It's because there's so many lights here. So it's not like they're trying to freeze us to death on purpose. It's more that there's so many lights, so to balance out all the heat that the lights emanate, they have to keep the AC on full blast. These are television secrets. All right, guys. Well, we have a lot more news to discuss this morning. I already played that Arpaio story for you. Obviously, Ron and I are going to talk extensively about the rain here in Arizona. We're also going to talk about one of the big headlines that broke yesterday afternoon. Native American actors very, very upset with Adam Sandler. In fact, they were so upset they walked off the set of his film. They found the film to be racist, offensive. And Ron and I will be talking about that with you guys. Would love to know your take on that story as well. Plus, we have a lot of live events scheduled for today. Governor Doug Ducey is going to be holding an event about education in about 50 minutes. We'll be carrying that live here. Then Attorney General Eric Holder. Today is his final day as Attorney General. He'll be holding a farewell event at 11:15 a.m. I'll be streaming that here for you on News Now. And President Obama is doing an event at 11:50. We'll have that here on News Now as well. So lots of live events, plus a lot of stories to share with you, both local stories, national stories, crazy talkers, lots ahead on News Now. Let me see what I have for you guys. I'm going to play one more story for you. All right, I played this Arpaio hearing story. This one I'm going to actually play. This is a national story. This is out in Indiana. I heard a lot of the national networks talking about it this morning. It was a crazy story. A high school stage collapsed. A dozen kids injured. We actually had this collapse on video. I'm going to play this for you guys now. And as soon as this video wraps, I'll be sitting here with Ron Hoon to chat with you guys about all of our headlines.
And I saw moms screaming for their kids that were down there who were playing, just freaking out, and everybody just started calling 911.
A frightening scene at an Indiana high school when a stage collapses in the middle of a theater performance. The incident happening Thursday night in the town of Westfield outside of Indianapolis. A large group of students could be seen on stage for the finale of the musical American Pie when the floor gave way.
The look on everyone's face was just pure shock, like no one could believe what was happening. And then there was a moment of silence, like a really quick moment of silence where everyone was just in shock.
Right now, our thoughts and prayers are with the families. That's our number one concern, is to be able to assure our families that we're doing everything we can do.
Dozens of frantic witnesses running toward the stage trying to help the teens until medics arrived. Some of the performers also jumping in to assist their injured classmates.
I was on the stage when it collapsed. I fell into it. As soon as it fell, I just didn't know what happened, and then I saw that people's feet were stuck under a lot of wood, and I lifted a lot of wood off of a lot of people.
Officials say more than a dozen people were hurt in the collapse, at least one of them critically.
She's a good friend of mine, so I'm just hoping that she's really all right.
As the shock of the incident wears off, investigators are beginning to look into how exactly the collapse happened.
Structure is going to be one of those things that they're going to look at and see if they can narrow it down and see exactly what was the cause of the accident.
School officials say classes will go on as scheduled today, but counselors will be available to help anyone affected by the collapse. Patricia Stark, Fox News.
That's crazy.
I know.
I mean, thankfully no one was like severely hurt, but still. I mean, you don't really go on stage expecting it for it to fall.
No, you don't. But all of a sudden, you think about it. So that's a false floor, if you want to call it that. It's just a covering over emptiness beneath you, which is the orchestra pit. And whatever it's made out of just was not enough, I guess was not designed to handle that many people on it bouncing up and down.
Too much bouncing.
Yeah. And the pictures are kind of crazy, and of course we're glad that nobody was seriously hurt. It actually, as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of a story where, and this was just shocking, but there was once a Hyatt hotel where people were, the music was jamming, there was some sort of a party going on, and people were like on a second floor, I think, sort of a balcony type setup, and it collapsed on top of people who were underneath it.
That's bad.
And
what happened?
I want to say it killed 31 people.
That's terrible.
The thing that's so interesting about that one is that it happened long enough ago. I remember it because I was kind of just getting started in the news business at the time. It was in Kansas City. And nothing like that, at least in my lifetime that I can remember, had ever happened. And to have all those people killed, crushed as this thing's falling on top of you.
Was it caught on camera? That one probably wasn't.
I don't think so. I bet we could
It's not like there were cameras everywhere back then.
I bet we could look it up. I think it would be something like the Kansas City Hyatt disaster or collapse or something like that.
Disaster.
Oh, look at some of these pictures of the aftermath. The thing that is it was shocking. It was absolutely shocking when it happened. And yeah, they're taking us back to 1981.
Page. Let's click.
Okay, let's pull it up here. You can see where it used to be. And there where it collapsed. And of course, these are all aftermath type pictures.
Right.
But from the event, and there's the next morning, and there they are just trying to figure out, here's what actually gave way.
Wow.
But let me see, did it?
1981.
1981. Oh, it killed 114
Whoa.
people.
That's insane.
I don't know why I remembered 31. It killed 114.
It was the deadliest structural collapse in U.S. history until 9/11.
Yeah, and people don't even know about it. You know what's really strange about it?
That is terrible.
Is that when I I had never flown into the Kansas City airport until about 3 years ago. My dad and I were going to go to a football game in Nebraska, so we flew into the Kansas City airport. And some people don't even know what happened there in their hometown because it was long enough ago. You know, it was over 30 years ago. But I guess even I didn't realize it was 114 people killed. So it was I don't remember. Was it like a gathering, a wedding? I don't remember. Maybe it was just some sort of a business meeting or convention or just a big old party. But it was just horrifying.
That is crazy.
And I think up until that moment, nobody thought things like that could happen. And I do believe that they've learned a lot since that that prevents more of these kinds of things from happening. Yeah.
Let's read the comments.
Okay.
And the questions. Ashley, so perceptive. Ron shouldn't have a meeting today because he had to stay in the studio while everyone else went to the zip trip.
Wow. Ashley.
They're on top of it. They're basically like, we don't want to lose Ron at 10:30 today.
I know.
We have to save
every
Ron.
day I do have to go do that. But Ashley, I think you're right. Now, there will be a meeting. All it does mean is it's going to happen later. But, yeah, I think I get to hang out even past 10:30. Who knows? 10:45, 11 o'clock, maybe something like that. What else are they saying?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm watching our playback right now.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling my eyelashes today.
Are
I'm
you?
wearing a different pair.
Are you?
And I think I like them.
They're brand new?
No, they're not new. I've had
Okay.
them before. I just
All right.
decided I lost them.
Okay.
Anyways, that aside.
Well, congrats on that. No, I
Thanks.
think
I'm
that's
like,
worth.
I like these eyelashes.
That's worth commentating on.
Let's see.
All in all,
This
you got
is
a
so
great
funny.
Friday
They
look
love
going.
that Jane Wilcox made an excellent observation.
Yeah.
So they saw that I brought in a blazer today, keep me warm.
Yes.
And Jane's like, that way a black Sharpie won't be noticed because it's a black
Oh,
blazer.
yeah, that's right. Well, all I have is this
It's true. This is
innocent
a no
pen.
Sharpie zone now.
Well, okay, so
Jackie
that
Gay
is-
wants to know, will we have the end result of Blazergate today? I don't think so. I think Jackie Gay's going to have to wait until Monday.
Jackie writes, so will we have the end result of Blazergate today? Well,
Ashley Gray wants to talk about...
Hold on,
Oh.
since Jackie asked about that.
Oh, wait, you do?
I might have just a little... Might have a little surprise. Hold on.
Jackie, I just assumed he would mention it to me today if the return of the Blazer was scheduled for today.
Presenting, dun, 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 dun. Look, they love their customers. Oh,
More
I'm
importantly,
so
let's look at the
excited.
sleeve.
Oh,
This was such a surprise.
look, man, isn't that great? Look at your whole blazer, Samia. Look at how good it looks. It's brighter than it was before, huh? You can... Oh, look at
I'm trying to find the mark.
My new blazer's back. Anyway, they love their customers, and it wasn't very expensive to fix. So
Thank
I was
you.
happy to do it. How about that?
Well, it costs less than a new Blazer, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah. So Blazergate, which, I don't know, was that ever trending worldwide?
It's trending at least in the chat box. I almost feel like I need to wear it. And
Well, but you brought your black in. I knew it had to be a surprise. I was going to wait till later, but then...
They brought it
gosh,
up. I
as
know
soon as
they
you
all-
guys want to know about it, I guess I better get going on it. Oh, take a look. Yeah. Look at that.
The red doesn't really go with the gray.
So, as a little bit of background for those of you who are watching worldwide this morning and didn't know what I had done, I decided, I don't know why, I don't know what got into me, but I decided to go on the attack of Samia's red jacket or blazer. And so I took my Sharpie and I was marking it all up like crazy. Actually, she just kind of brushed against it. I was just holding it here, brush, little mark. The facial expressions were... Look, they're the opposite of this.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for fixing it. It looks beautiful.
You're welcome.
I really like it.
I know-
wish
I
red
know
went with
you
gray.
did.
I would wear it the whole day, but
Let's see how
doesn't.
the chat box is reacting to this exciting development.
A lot of them very excited.
Oh, I can just imagine. Here we go. Let's just see right here, right now. Okay, so Izzy says, "Great, now Ron can get the Sharpies back."
I'm laughing at Savannah's reaction.
Okay, Savannah. Samia had the beauty pageant look of shock.
I was genuinely like, I don't. You call it beauty pageant look of shock. I call it the Taylor Swift. I won an
I
award.
love that look.
I did not expect this.
That is
she always expected it.
That is my favorite look. The thing is, after we remember, I periscoped it.
You did.
Yeah, we got to get you going on Periscope, by the way.
I have Periscope.
I know, but I want to see you on it more often.
I know, I should have. Yesterday, I actually went to Starbucks strictly to just Periscope my Starbucks experience.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But then I went to Starbucks and forgot to Periscope. I was so caught up in getting a drink.
I know.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, yeah. I asked him, I said, is there any way you could get it done Thursday? She said, well, it would be right toward the end of the day on Thursday. So I think I went over there at like 4:45, 4:30, 4:45, something like that. And they had it. It was set. But, of course, I couldn't Periscope that because it had to be a surprise.
It was a surprise, definitely. I want to read some more comments. Ashley Gray, can we talk about Sandra Bullock being named People's Most Beautiful? Bina thinks, I like Sandra Bullock, but that was random. I personally found it really random, too.
I did, too.
People's Most Beautiful Woman. And I will say that my initial reaction was ageist.
Oh.
Not sexist, not racist, ageist.
And you're calling yourself out on it.
Yeah, it was just this innate shock based on the fact that Sandra Bullock...
Is how old is she? 40s.
I think she's in her 50s. Sandra Bullock is pushing 50.
She's in her 50s?
Yeah, she's 50.
Wow.
And I think that's what makes it so unique. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. She is pretty. I guess it was surprising.
Yeah.
That they didn't go with, like, the cliche Beyonce or, I don't know.
Right. But I'm sure she's already won that, right?
Yeah, I would assume that Sandra Bullock has already gotten it, too.
But who's out there it's not like Sandra's got a huge movie out right now.
She doesn't. That's what makes it also random. Unless they find that she handled her whole drama with her ex-husband very gracefully. Jesse James.
Yes, but she has been stalked or something, right? Was she the one that was getting stalked?
I think all celebrities have been stalked by someone here or there.
So. Well, look at Savannah. You love that comment. So Savannah's daughter's starting to wear the fake eyelashes because she likes the way you look at her. How about that? Look at your smile.
That's so cute.
You are so full of smiles today. You got your jacket back. Uh-oh, Rachel says it's pouring out in the West Valley right now.
I want to see what the viewers are saying about Sandra. Bob Frank, I have to agree, Sandra is so sweet and so pretty. Looks get better with age. John Fitch, however, thinks Selena Gomez is the most beautiful. Selena Gomez is in her early to mid-20s.
Boy, she looks fantastic, yeah.
Sandra is so down to earth. Jane Wilcox saying she has a classy style to her. She's beautiful inside and out. She handled her bad boy Jesse with grace. See?
A lot of people liking you for next year, for 2016.
Let's see. Billy Phoenix 2001 saying Sandra Bullock was hilarious on George Lopez.
Somebody said Periscope needs to be on Android. Is it only on iPhone?
It's only on iPhone right now. Same with Meerkat. I really think between Periscope and Meerkat, because there's such a competition, whichever of the two streaming apps decides to appeal to the Android base will take over. So if I were Meerkat, given that Twitter is pushing Periscope and now suddenly everyone's joining the Periscope bandwagon, if I were Meerkat, I would get on it so quickly. I would really work hard to get an app out for Android and try to capitalize on that and maybe steal some of those Periscopers and move them back to Meerkat.
Now,
personal opinion.
You've looked at both. Do you think that the quality on Periscope is better? Because I've been surprised when I do Periscope.
Periscope has, there's not that delay, so when people are typing to you, you see it right away. It's a lot quicker, I think.
I just remember when we had Steve. Steve was out at Luke Air Force Base one day, and he was meerkatting. And I remember thinking, the picture quality didn't seem like it was that great. But I don't know. I'm frankly amazed at how good the picture quality can be on an iPhone anyway.
Right.
So.
And we're still using 5s. Imagine if we had 6s.
I know.
We would be so advanced.
I know.
Ashley Gray saying that Sandra Bullock has a big animated movie coming out soon. Bob Frank saying, and she is so natural. No fake hair, no fake boobs. That's what makes her so darn pretty. Cinna Spice Girl saying, I'm impressed they went with her. She's a big philanthropist and she's a respectable person for the most part.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you wonder who else was in the running.
It's her non-Hollywood persona that makes her a great person, Cinna Spice Girl chiming in. John, on the other hand, John Persilli saying, it's so silly given beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, that's the thing. They have this meeting and it can be completely subjective. I mean, who was the runner-up? They should have to say.
I don't think they say,
who got
though.
the second vote? The second most
I don't
votes
know
in
if
our
it's like
meeting.
a voting thing, though.
I know. Is it just a
I think it's
group?
like a collective discussion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Or it's like, which publicist do we need to get in our good graces?
Exactly.
We need to get Sandra Bullock's publicist on our side, so let's go with Sandra, because we owe her one.
Yeah.
Bob Frank, if more people just love their looks enough to not go under the knife, we are all perfect in the way God made us.
That's really good. That's
Why are we
true.
looking at a picture of the Statue of Liberty? Do you guys want to go see it? I just like the fact that we're looking at the Statue of Liberty. I don't know why it's the Statue of Liberty. I don't know what news is happening. But I like...
JR.
Oh, we're learning that the Statue of Liberty was evacuated because of a suspicious package.
Okay.
And, oh, wow. Have you ever been to the Statue of Liberty?
Yes, when I was a kid.
Like, you actually went to the island where the statue was?
Yeah. We made a trip there when I was about, how old would I have been? I guess about 11 years old. It was probably the most memorable trip in my life because I was a kid growing up in a small town up in Washington. And we went to Philadelphia, and we went to Washington, D.C., and we went to New York, and we went to Detroit, and we went to Chicago. I mean, we hit a lot of the big cities, which was a lot to get in, you know, for a family vacation. But my parents did a really good job of making sure we saw as much of the country as possible. But that part of it was really memorable.
Seeing the Statue of Liberty. So you were on this island right
Yes,
here.
right.
Like you went up there. Did you climb through the statue?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you went up it?
Yep.
Did you stand in the hand?
No, I think
people can stand, right, in the torch? Or am I wrong?
Well, I know that you can
go
up
inside.
to the crown.
The crown, sorry,
the crown
that's
of
what I
Lady
meant.
Liberty.
You can go to the crown.
So, and I remember that. I remember thinking, wow, look at these views. But I also sadly remember when I was working for FOX10, before it was FOX10, what we called it before, which was Cool News 10.
It's still pretty cool.
That's what we used to be called, Cool News 10. Yeah, it is cool. A photographer and I were back in New York, and we were on top of the World Trade Center. I just remember being up on, I think it was called Windows on the Green or something, but there was a restaurant on the top floor of the tower. I forget if it was north or south. And the views, I just remember it was right around sunset, were just so beautiful. I mean, it was just like there was a red glow over the whole city, and I thought about that a lot in the days since 9/11. But we are hearing that there has been an evacuation.
I'm gonna look on Twitter to see if anyone's tweeting anything specifically.
Okay.
Maybe I should spell Liberty right in order to find the tweets.
I think they do sort of require that.
Breaking news: the Statue of Liberty being evacuated due to a suspicious package. Here's a photo that I found on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm going to share it with our viewers really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Oops, you just got a notification.
I follow.
Yeah.
All the people.
Oh, man. All these people who are now being, you got to shuffle them out. They got to go get in line somewhere and
Suspicious package on Liberty Island leads to evacuations at Statue of Liberty. A security sweep is underway.
Yeah. There was while you were out sick, we had a suspicious package locally here. It was in Casa Grande. And Jeff and I covered that for quite a while. They had to bring in the robot. And I mean, that whole thing took quite a while. So,
let's see. Fox News. .com just tweeted about it 3 minutes ago. The Statue of Liberty and Liberty Island were evacuated Friday afternoon due to an unspecified security concerns, the National Parks Service said.
Who said this?
The National Park Service.
No, yes, right, but who's the report from?
Oh, us.
From Fox News.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Well,
I try to go
I
to
just
my
wanna make
official
sure
sources
that,
here.
yeah.
The evacuation of the monument came shortly before 1 p.m., officials said. Law enforcement officials were conducting a sweep of Liberty Island. So this happened probably 30 minutes ago or so.
Okay.
Tourists at the popular site tweeted photos of throngs of people waiting to board a ferry to leave Liberty Island.
Gosh.
So this is the breaking news out of New York.
Yeah. Do we want to headline it, do you think?
I'm
Or are we
probably going
go
to change
away from
topics.
it? Are you?
I think so, because we
Okay.
can't really see anything right now.
We don't have any additional info.
All we're looking at is the Statue of Liberty, and you can't
Yeah.
even actually see the evacuations taking place. I feel like if we could actually see the action,
Yeah.
I would hold on this video for longer.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we've told the viewers what they need to know.
Yeah.
They know what the statue looks like currently. It looks like a hazy day in New York. We can report on the weather there. And speaking of weather,
Yes.
I'm going to do a quick transition to our 10-day forecast, or Foxcast as we like to call it.
Nice.
In case you guys are wondering what the weather's like, I already touched upon it earlier, but we have a high of 79 expected today. Do you see that thunderbolt
Yes.
under Friday? Eek.
Thunderbolt and lightning. We had it. We actually could hear the thunder during our live broadcast out in Carefree and Cave Creek.
Right, so here are, this is the 10-day forecast. You can see that things are heating up after this weekend. Looks like a very pleasant weekend, minus the rain. We have some good, temperatures. Minus the rain, but again, it's always a chance of rain.
Yeah.
The rain could go away, and we could have a pleasant weekend.
We do have a huge event tomorrow. Look at these.
Whoa.
Look at these pictures from Sky Fox.
These are not live images. This is from earlier today.
Yeah.
But this is video that was shot courtesy of Sky Fox. Sky Fox always doing a great job of getting us those images that we
Yeah.
need.
I ran back and talked to the guys in ENG. I'm like, hey, could you roll on this? Because I figured we would talk about some weather.
Obviously, it's
And
a
they
very
said,
rainy day.
already got you covered. We've been rolling. And look how wet some of those streets are.
I know, it's
This
crazy.
morning. The thing is, all we were ever talking about was a 30% chance of rain, which doesn't get anybody too excited. A lot of times, 30% means no rain.
It's not happening.
Correct.
Although 30% is great when it comes to shopping and discounts.
Yeah.
Look at that rain. In this shot, you can actually see that there's rain water on the actual camera.
Oh, that's a great shot. I love
Yeah.
that. The thing about it is there is a huge event.
Oh, no.
There should be a lot more than that. Here we go. The signal, even though we were rolling on it, every once in a while the signal drops out.
Can I actually, it's actually the perfect segue to the next thing I was going to tell you about.
Okay.
So I made an 80s joke this morning when I was in live control.
Yes.
Because when it's really rainy, sometimes it affects our signals and our satellites,
Mm-hmm.
and things don't work. As Ron was just saying, we were losing the signal.
Yeah.
I was back there when the signal from the zip trip was kind of going in and out,
Mm-hmm.
and I turned to Dean and I was like, blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the rain. I can't call up the music because we're
yeah.
not allowed to, but I could sing the whole
No, but I thought I was really clever. I was like, oh, blame it on the rain.
Blame it
Like
on
the
rain.
song goes.
You know what's weird? Is every decade has its classic rain song. And I think that for the 80s, that was it. Blame it on the rain. And then in the, maybe in the 60s, I think there was a song called Here Comes That Rainy Day, Feeling Again.
Well, there's like controversy behind blame it on the rain, though, you know?
Oh, well, there's controversy behind Milli Vanilli.
Well, that's why I was saying
Oh.
there's controversy behind blame it on the rain.
Yeah, because who knows who actually sang it.
But I really did like that song as a kid. I will say that.
Did you?
That's a song that I do remember from the 80s.
You were a pretty big Milli Vanilli fan?
Well, that song, it was just such a catchy song.
Oh, it was.
Especially for a kid.
Yeah.
You're just singing Blame It on the Rain. Like that song, and I used to listen to a lot of Bob Marley as a kid.
You did?
Yeah, because I'm my
Okay.
older brother, and it's like you
Oh.
have this little 4-year-old singing I Shot the Sheriff, and it's like, I don't know what any of this means. Buffalo Soldier? Sure,
Uh-huh,
why not?
uh-huh.
I just thought they were really catchy tunes. I didn't know that there was this whole like political movement.
We haven't hardly even talked about your brother.
My older brother?
Yeah, where's he live?
Like Napa, Calistoga area.
That's nice up in that area.
He was in LA for quite a while though.
Yeah.
He just recently moved up there. I think when I left LA.
Yeah.
Then he did too.
Yeah. Oh, see, he's like, well, sis is gone. I'm going to take off. Yeah. Well,
Basically.
that whole area, I'd never really spent any time there. Renee and I just went up last year. And I realized how beautiful it is.
It
Holy
is.
cow, up towards St. Helena?
Well, I haven't been up there yet.
Oh. Yeah, you got to go there.
Yeah, he keeps telling me to, but on
Yeah.
my weekends I like to
I know.
sleep, go to Fresno, or go to LA.
I know.
Can't add another destination.
Well, this is why this rain that you were showing people is
go
concerning
look at
me
it
so much,
again.
because there is a major event happening tomorrow morning.
Pat's Run.
Pat's Run, which I
Well,
am
you know,
running.
PFC Ebersol is volunteering there tomorrow.
PFC?
Yeah, because earlier before you arrived, I asked the viewers what they were doing this weekend.
Yeah.
PFC chimed in. I was like, you know what? I think there's some people who work here that'll be running that.
Maybe.
Little did I know it was Ron Hoon,
The shortened
Hooner,
version. The shortened
Dancer
version.
Ron himself.
Dr. Dancer Ron, thank you.
Ron Hoon
Right, Giolio?
will not be dancing though this weekend. He'll be running.
I know. Well, I had a little bit of a challenge for my son, Jordan. He's in his late 20s, and I said, hey, if you want to run the race, I'll pay for it. And
Uh-oh.
yeah.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
There's that signal lost again.
Yeah. And so it's funny because his wife is such a go-getter. Kelsey is such a go-getter. She's like, yeah, we'll train, we'll do it, it's great. And so they go out running, and she's like, trying to give him all the encouragement, because he has never really been a runner before. He's like, you can do it, Jor, keep going. And then he says, okay, so all of her positive input was driving me crazy, so I put my earbuds in so I can just run. And as I'm putting my earbuds in, I can hear her saying, that away, put the earbuds in, let the music motivate you. So anyway,
Billy
let's hope it's
Phoenix.
not raining tomorrow morning.
2001. Also a Milli Vanilli fan. Used to like Milli Vanilli. Thank you.
And Jane Wilcox pointing out in the 40s it was singing in the
Right,
rain.
Lexi Fielding saying 2000s was Umbrella by Rihanna.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Umbrella,
can I just
umbrella.
say, check out this rainbow?
Oh, that is so gorgeous. Wow.
Lexi Fielding adding in the 90s it was Purple Rain. Ashley Grade, though, saying the 90s is I Can't Stand the Rain.
Yeah.
By,
See?
what was it, Missy Elliott?
There's something about rain that makes people want to sing about
Well,
it.
here's the thing. When you're sitting at home and you're a singer-songwriter and it's
Yeah.
raining outside, you're like, oh, I have to stay home and just write a song. What else is going to inspire you but the reason behind why you're staying home?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
my personal take.
Right.
Sherry Keena, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which
Oh,
challenged for the 60s
yes.
iconic rain song.
Yes, it would.
You want to know something? So the weatherman in Fresno, Angelo Stallis, the one
Yeah.
that I grew up watching, well, him and Kopi,
Yeah.
rival stations.
Yeah.
They were both great. But I still remember there were infomercials on TV in Fresno so that you could buy Angelo Stallis's, like, at the time maybe it was his tape or CD, because
Okay.
his music.
Uh-huh.
And as a weatherman, he sang Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
And you remember that?
And as a kid, I thought that was an Angelo Stallis original. I thought my local weatherman also doubled
Yeah.
as a musician.
Well, of course you would.
Because that's all I knew.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
People are big fans of rain music. How did we even get into this topic?
Well,
I
just 'cause
guess
it's been raining here.
I said blame it on the rain.
Correct. And
Jane
then next-
Wilcox, we can't forget the Carpenters' Rainy Days and Mondays.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Rainy days and Mondays.
Jane Wilcox
are-
saying, well, my fave is It's Raining Men. LOL. John Hoffman, I wish it would rain by the Temptations. Now everyone is
Ooh,
trying
yeah.
to just
You
drop
guys,
some
these
rain
are some
music.
good nominations.
All right, guys. Well, let's go back to
Okay.
some rain video.
Yeah, no kidding. You can't lose with that.
So, guys, the gist of this story is there's rain. There's rain in the forecast. And just stay indoors. And if you're not going to stay indoors, bring an umbrella. And if you can't do that, well, hopefully you're running.
Rachel just said in the chat box, did you get the tweet I just sent out? Look, it looks like a tropical rainforest out there in the West Valley where Rachel is. Look at that. You know what's weird is I'm thinking there are probably places, other places around the world that people are watching us. Places you think of as really rainy spots, like over in the UK, and it's probably sunny.
Right.
You
The
know?
irony.
The irony. So, anyway, Rachel, thanks.
Ready to talk about some more topics on the agenda?
Yes.
You want to talk about this Adam Sandler scandal?
I don't know a thing about it.
You don't?
Well, the Hollywood stuff is not our super beat on the morning show.
Well, but this isn't even just Hollywood. This is major. This involves like racism and offensive people offended. This isn't just like, I would not start talking about entertainment stories this early in the morning unless there was some news value to this.
Oh, yeah.
This was trending yesterday on Twitter. It's
Okay.
trending right now on Facebook. Adam Sandler pissed off a lot of people. Basically, Adam Sandler, the Native Americans working on his latest film, walked off the set because they found the script to be offensive. I mean, it's everywhere. It is. You name the affiliate.
What is the
news
movie he was
source.
working on?
I'll get that information for you now. Native American actors reportedly walked off the set of an Adam Sandler comedy, saying the satirical Western script is insulting to Native Americans and women. The walkout occurred Wednesday on the set of The Ridiculous Six.
Okay. Out near Las Vegas.
New
Las
Mexico.
Vegas, New Mexico.
First of all, I didn't even know there was a Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yeah.
That is, why would any city in the world, any city in the world take on the name Las Vegas? As if they ever thought they were going to be the ones known for Las Vegas.
Maybe they were the first ones.
And then Vegas just stole their name?
Yeah. A lot of these old Western towns have been around for a long time. They just haven't become mega cities.
This story first broke on Indian Country Today Media Network.com, which I've never heard of this media source in my life,
right.
but it sort of took off once news broke. So apparently a dozen Native actors and actresses, as well as the Native Cultural Advisor, left the set of Adam Sandler's new movie. The actors, who are primarily from the Navajo Nation, left the set after the satirical Western script repeatedly insulted Native women and elders and grossly misrepresented the Apache culture.
For goodness sakes. Well, then this is going to be a big story in Arizona because whether it's the White Mountain Apaches or the San Carlos Apaches,
that's why I'm surprised.
They're right here.
How did you word not get back to Ron? Maybe you were sleeping. You know what? It probably broke during your nap time. Nope, you were getting the jacket, and that's why you didn't hear about it. And then you were sleeping.
Yeah.
Because you have a different schedule.
Oh, I have a crazy schedule.
Yeah, this is the examples of disrespect included Native women's names such as Beaver's Breath and No Bra. An actress portrayed an Apache woman squatting and urinating while smoking a peace pipe, and feathers inappropriately positioned on a teepee. The film, which is said to be a spoof of the Magnificent Seven, and was written by Adam Sandler and his frequent collaborator Tim Herlihy, is released under his production company, Happy Madison Productions. It was a Netflix-only release. The movie stars Adam Sandler, Nick Nolte, Dan Aykroyd, John Lovitz. Oh, Vanilla Ice.
Really?
Vanilla Ice is also
kind of making a return to the big screen, but not now. What's
well,
going to happen to this movie?
Who knows? Among the actors who walked off the set were Navajo Nation tribal members, Lauren Anthony, who is also the lead singer of the metal band Bloodline, and film student Allison Young. Anthony says that though he understands the movie is a comedy, the portrayal of the Apache was severely negligent, and the insults to women were more than enough reason to walk off the set. This is crazy.
It's so easy to go for the cheap laugh, you know?
So here is
I
an image
bet
from
they'll make
Instagram.
changes, yeah.
This is an image from Instagram of that guy that we were talking about, Lauren Anthony, who is a member of the Navajo Nation tribal. He's a Navajo Nation member. So this is the image of him. The caption says, he's gearing up for a fight scene with Nick Nolte. Visible on his shoulder right here. Oh, the controversy.
Yeah, boy, no kidding. So the question now is what's going to happen
Here's
next?
another interesting quote. I was asked a long time ago to do some work on this, and I wasn't down for it. Then they told me it was going to be a comedy, but it would not be racist. So I agreed to it, but then on Monday things started getting weird on set.
Ooh.
Anthony says he was first insulted that the movie costumes that were supposed to portray Apache were significantly incorrect and that the jokes seemed to get progressively worse. We were supposed to be Apache, but it was really stereotypical and we did not look Apache at all. One thing that really offended a lot of people was that there was a female character called Beaver's Breath. One character says, "Hey, Beaver's Breath," and the native woman says, "How did you know my name?" They just treated us as if we should be on the side. When we did speak with the main director, he was trying to say the disrespect was not intentional and this was a comedy.
Yeah, well.
Allison Young, a Navajo and also a former film student from Dartmouth, was also offended by the stereotypes portrayed and the outright disrespect paid to her and others by the directors and producer.
I'm sure.
When I began doing this film, I had an uneasy feeling inside of me and I felt so conflicted, she said. I talked to a former instructor at Dartmouth, and he told me to take this as finally experiencing stereotyping firsthand. We talked to the producers about our concerns. They just told us, if you guys are so sensitive, you should leave. I was just standing there and got emotional and teary-eyed. I didn't want to cry, but the feelings just came over me. This is supposed to be a comedy that makes you laugh. A film like this should not make someone feel this way.
Right. I totally agree.
She adds, nothing has changed. We are still just Hollywood Indians. Wow. And the article continues. But this is like, this literally has become the next big scandal. I want to know what our viewers have to say about this.
Not only that, I want to hear what Adam Sandler has to say about this. He's been noticeably quiet so far, right? He's not being quoted.
I mean, I haven't heard anything from Adam Sandler yet. Let me...
check his Twitter page.
Right, and Adam Sandler has not tweeted in like a week. But it's probably because he's working on a movie. But still. Adam Sandler doesn't tweet too much. But yeah, I would like to hear what the viewers have to say about this story. What's your take, guys? Rachel's saying Las Vegas, New Mexico has a very pretty train station.
You know what's weird about that? I just pulled it up on Wikipedia.
That's so funny.
Isn't that funny? Well, here's the town from Wiki.
Oh my God, it looks like my dream town, like a town I would visit. Anything that looks like Wild West and Western and like from 100 or 200 years ago are the places I like to visit.
Well, then wait till you go see your brother in and go see this town, St. Helena, up by where he lives in California. It's such a cool old town. You're going to love that. But where would that train station go?
I want to look for more comments and questions. Billy Phoenix, 2001. Does anyone remember when the natives forced Phoenix to change the name of the Squaw Peak?
Oh, yes. You know, Piestewa Peak used to be called Squaw Peak. Did you know that? Yeah. So when you're hiking this mountain, it is... For generations, it was known as Squaw Peak. And our governor at the time, see, this was actually a while ago, now that I think about it, named it in honor, changed the name. And it was kind of controversial at the time because they sort of went around. There was a rule within the state that said you had to wait 5 years if you were going to name it in honor of someone who had died, which Lori Piestewa was the first Native American woman to die in combat operations, serving her country, first time ever. And so that was such a sad story here in Arizona that people, you know, and she was a mom and she had left her kids, you know, here, family members to take care of, and it just was just a heartbreaking story. So the governor said, we're going to bypass the rules that require us to wait 5 years, and we're just going to name it right now as Piestewa Peak. So it's named after Lori Piestewa, and that's why they still do the ceremony.
Why were they upset over Squaw Peak? What was the controversy behind Squaw Peak?
Because in the use of the word Squaw Peak, squaw can mean female, but it can also mean like a, how do I say this? A female, a part of the female body. I'll just say it like that. Yeah. I don't want to say any more than just that. So, history lessons with Ron. Don't get me started, Samia. We'll never get off this topic.
Well, here's the thing. I have a branded segment that I do almost every day called Tech Talk with Jeff.
Oh, I know about that.
So I'm just wondering if I
Uh-huh.
need to create something called History Lessons with Ron, but with a more catchy title. Because I came up with the name Tech Talk with Jeff, and I think it works.
Yeah,
it sounds
sure it does.
good.
Yeah.
But I want something that suggests
Uh-huh.
a blast to the past with Ron, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably do something like that.
I'm just saying, like, but the thing is, it's
Yeah.
never a planned thing. It just always happens when I
Uh-huh.
sit with you that I learn something.
Well, so far we've learned about what used to be called Squaw Peak, now being changed
Well,
to
PFC
Piestowa.
Ebersol says I still call it Squaw Peak. Is it something else?
Yeah. See, people still do. I mean, there's a big fancy resort that's right at the base of the mountain that's still called the Squaw Peak Resort.
Right. Billy Phoenix 2001. Does anyone remember when the Mexicans wanted spick and span pulled off store shelves because it was offensive in the 90s? I don't remember that either. John Hoffman makes an interesting point. Las Vegas, Nevada was just a spot in the desert in the 40s. About
Oh, is that right? Oh, now
The
we're
one
gonna have
in
to
the-
now we're gonna have to really look into it.
Billy Phoenix, I'm offended by rappers calling women vile names and rapping about killing cocks, and I'm offended by people walking around with their pants hanging down and so their high end shows. Why don't we make a law? Jay Deering saying, heck, they want the Redskins to change their name after all these years. That's true. Rachel Favela, so didn't they know that Adam Sandler would do jokes like that? Doesn't surprise me.
I guess it isn't that big a surprise. I think, did I finally find, Rachel had mentioned that in New Mexico, in Las Vegas, New Mexico, they have rail station. I don't know if that's a very good shot, but that's the best we can do. See how sort of
That's pretty.
cool, old-fashioned looking it is?
It is very pretty.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'll tell you this much. New Mexico changed some of their rules over there so that it would encourage, in terms of like tax rebates, etc., so that it would be more encouraging for Hollywood to come and do movies in New Mexico.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
it's
but-
way cheaper. I mean, that's why Breaking Bad shoots in New Mexico, too. A lot of things shoot out in New Mexico because of the
Right.
cost effectiveness.
Yeah, yeah.
And New Orleans as well. Louisiana, they have great tax incentives for people to shoot movies out there.
Right. But the question is, so New Mexico does that. So here are all these Hollywood productions, the movie stars, all of the money that it injects into the local economy of a town like Las Vegas, New Mexico, and they're getting a movie shot there. And literally,
And
they're
they have to-
flying over Arizona, going from Hollywood all the way over our state and landing in New Mexico to shoot the movies. We have to be more competitive.
Oh, so you're saying that our state needs to present to these Hollywood execs some
Yes.
sort of compelling deal to make them shoot here. Because
Yes,
on top
I
of
do,
that, not
yeah.
only do they add to the economy in terms of just being out there and renting hotels and this and that and restaurants, whatever, but then a lot of they hire locals for extras.
Yeah.
In fact, a friend of mine, he shot a sketch with me, but he moved out to LA after he was in Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
Pitch Perfect shot out in Louisiana,
Uh-huh.
and since it was shooting out in Louisiana, they just cast local kids,
Sure.
local people.
Yeah.
And as a result of doing Pitch Perfect in Louisiana, he had the guts to then make the move out to LA, start working on projects out in LA. But
LA.
it's like it could help people that may not think that they have a chance in Hollywood
Yeah,
to begin with,
because-
having those local incentives.
Let's think about what is now happening here in 2015. Yeah, Hollywood keeps making movies and people keep filling the movie theaters, but now you've got Netflix doing its own original programming.
Oh, yeah.
You have all the television networks
Hulu
looking
makes
for
originals.
locations.
Amazon's making originals.
Correct. Yeah,
Everyone's
Amazon
making original
original.
content.
I mean, there's more creative content being created today in 2015 than there ever has been before.
absolutely.
But how often do you see them set here in Arizona? Not very much.
Would you
And
like something set in Arizona?
I think a lot of it could be if we would be more competitive.
Are you
with
talking
New
about
Mexico.
having the theme of it set in Arizona, or do you want it shot in Arizona?
I just think if it's shot in Arizona. However, there was a time when the genre of westerns was incredibly popular in the John Wayne days, and they were always shooting movies around here, right? So I mean, they have the old Tucson movie studios down in Tucson. That's a place you're
I
going to
didn't
want to
know
go
this.
check out. It's a huge old movie set with movie studios and everything else. There was a fire, so I don't know how much of it has since been rebuilt, but it's cool to go out to. They have a kind of a movie set area out in the Apache Junction part of the valley that I think was called Apache Land, if I recall.
That sounds like a fun place, Apache Land.
Yeah.
It sounds like Disneyland, but not.
Oh, and by the way, I just got a notification from Alexander Khan on Periscope.
Who is this individual?
I don't know. I figured he's some long-lost relative. You're not going to want to know.
I don't think so.
Anyway, he
You
said
should
it's
only-
another awesome sunset somewhere. This is the cool thing about Periscope, is that...
I'm right now in Munich.
Oh,
He's in Munich.
He's in Munich.
Staying here 2 more days and then I'm gonna...
He has an accent.
Yeah, he does. So there's the sunset right now
He's getting a lot of hearts.
in Bavaria.
Lots of hearts.
Wow.
All right, I want to read some more comments in regards to this Adam Sandler scandal. Dan in Florida saying, how do you make a comedy without hurting anyone's feelings? It's a comedy.
Yeah, but you don't have to mock any race. I mean, that's so old-fashioned.
John
you know.
Persilli saying, teaching on the Navajo reservation for 7 years wasn't funny at all. Dan in Florida saying, I'm not a big slapstick fan, but comedy must be hard to do these days. Bob Frank saying, I'm Native American and I understand all races are judged by all types of people. I can laugh at some of my ancestors and their actions.
Yeah. However...
Bob Frank adds, life is too short to be so sensitive.
Well, the thing is, when they're trying to make it kind of like gross humor...
Yeah.
Like anatomy humor and tying a culture into it.
That's where people get offended.
That's where I think people are feeling
Billy
like
Phoenix, 2001, saying, Americans speak their minds and tell it like it is, yet they are the most offended people in the free world. Savannah Rose says, Adam is a comedian equals satire. They have to expect it a little. Jessica chiming in saying, I can't stand Adam Sandler movies. Jessica Ocampo. PFC Ebersol saying, I'm more of a horror movie fan, not comedy. Whiskey Row in downtown Prescott, Arizona looks like a western town, sort of. Jessica Mintzmeyer chiming in.
Yeah. Could you imagine the movies they could film in Prescott? You haven't been up there yet, right?
No.
You're going to love it.
I've heard
around
great things.
Whiskey Row and the old courthouse. Just the beauty of the Red Rocks right up the road in Sedona. How about Jerome?
Oh, I've heard about Jerome.
How about the kind of movies you could make in Jerome? I mean, if any town in the whole state of Arizona has immense character, it's Jerome, or maybe Bisbee, because they've been around for such a long time.
Let's see. Kareem Williams chiming in. We need to respect the forefathers of this land. Their land was taken from them, and on top of that, you want to disrespect them in front of their face. Come on, guys. # respect should be given to everyone. Kareem Williams telling it like it is. Gio Leo.
Yes.
Figured out the name of your segment, History with Hooner.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Thank you,
History
Gio
with
Leo.
Hooner.
We are actually going to use that most likely.
Are we? Okay.
I think so.
I mean, Billy Phoenix was tossing out a Ron reminisces. See, but it's not really a reminisce, right?
Yeah,
it's
because
like
sometimes
some amazing
sometimes
or cool
it's stuff
or
before you were
interesting-
born.
Yeah.
Reminiscing means it has to be during your life time period. It's like when you
Correct.
were like, do you remember when Gerald Ford was elected? I was like, no, I don't. That was a quote from yesterday. I should win quote of the day for that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But I mean, just the reason we even got on this topic.
But someone else like Ron's blast from the past.
Ooh.
That was the one I threw out. But you
Okay.
know what? I'm going with History with Hooner.
Yeah.
That sounds very good.
But the whole reason we got on this topic is because there was the first thing we were talking about was this high school where the stage collapsed, and I said it reminds me, historically speaking, of an incident in Kansas City where an entire walkway in a Hyatt hotel, and they do those big lobbies, collapse, and all of a sudden we start looking into it, and over 100 people had been killed, and yet there are people in Kansas City today it was over 30 years ago who don't even know what happened. So we do really forget our history, don't we?
We do.
We really do. I mean, we just went past the 150th anniversary of the end of the Civil War. The
Yeah.
deadliest war our nation has ever seen. Sorry, but even some of these others, as horrible as they were, not as many lives were lost as were lost in the Civil War. And it hardly got talked about. It's been 150 years. And if it had gone the other way, we potentially would be having two nations here instead of just one big United States from coast to coast. So I was a little surprised at that. So anyway, yeah, I'll bring a little history to the
That's what you
to
do.
the big
That's
show
what you do,
here
Ron
every
Hoon.
once
Okay,
in a while.
a lot of people still chiming in on this Adam Sandler story. Katrina
sure.
Fletcher, Bob. A lot of my friends are Native, and they aren't offended by the sports team. Been a lot of discussion about the movie, though.
Oh, now see that's
There it is, the Redskins versus the offensive movie.
That
Katrina,
is-
I want you to elaborate on that point.
Okay.
Because if people are already talking a lot about this movie, and this
Correct.
news just broke yesterday.
Well, when the Redskins came to town this last year for a game, they invited a very prominent Native American leader to come and sit in the owner's box. You know, and so there are a lot of Native Americans who are not offended about that, and the teams will tell you that it's more of a point of pride for, at least in terms of the way they look at it, because of the strength of the character of you name the tribe. You
Got
know,
it.
so okay, so now here's the one problem.
What?
I'll do it, Brian. I see Brian walking through.
Wait,
I got to go do the live update.
Okay, you do that. I'm going to continue to read their comments
Okay,
then,
great.
because they have a lot more comments to be read.
Yes.
All right, Ron.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right, guys. Jessica Mintzmeyer chiming in on what Ron had to say. Our state needs to step it up and make it a place to shoot movies.
Yep.
Jane Wilcox adding, Jessica, there's an independent studio in Carefree. Jessica then saying, I didn't know that. I love when they just talk to each other. Savannah Rose chiming in, we had a few Native friends in North Fork near Fresno. Bob Frank elaborating on his Native American history. I was adopted by a white woman and raised by white women, and as a result, the tribe refuses to allow me to register with them. Wow, Bob, that is really sad. That's unfortunate. Michelle Elliman saying, oh, no, that's awful, Bob. Bob saying, there is judgment everywhere. Bob Frank then jokes, yeah, it's okay, I'm looking for another tribe to adopt me. Let's see. Dan in Florida saying everyone gets made fun of. Fat people get mocked, dumb people get mocked, etc. Dan in Florida adding, I don't like Adam Sandler's type of comedies, by the way. Jane Wilcox saying, I agree, Dan. I don't find him very funny. Katrina chiming in saying, Dan, I am with you. All of his movies are the same. Billy Phoenix 2001 saying, I don't get why it's socially acceptable to discriminate against fat and gay people, but you cannot offend anyone else. Billy Phoenix saying, Adam Sandler was only funny when he did stand-up. Katrina chiming in saying, it shouldn't be acceptable to discriminate towards anyone. People should have the courtesy to just be respectful. Will never happen, though. That is sad, Katrina. I feel like there's always going to be someone who wants to be a jerk out in this world, unfortunately. Let's see. What else is going on? Jay Deering chiming in. A movie is a movie. Get a life. Find something of importance to fix. OMG. Jay Deering telling it like it is from his perspective. Billy Phoenix 2001, actually very an interesting perspective from Billy Phoenix. I think people should just congregate with like people and quit pushing diversity, because diversity obviously doesn't work. All right, guys, lots of you chiming in with your thoughts. Continue to submit your thoughts. I'll be reading some more of them before this Doug Ducey education event starts. Let's see. Joe Stott, thanks, Michelle. I'm not aware about the Adam Sandler incident. For those of you just tuning in who may not have heard the initial part of this conversation, long story short, Adam Sandler is shooting a movie right now in New Mexico. One movie that offended a handful of Native American actors that were on set. These Native American actors then chose to walk off the set on Wednesday. This news became turned into a national headline yesterday. Basically, Native American actors offended by the script, by some of the jokes, finding it offensive to women, elderly people, and culturally insensitive. So that is the gist of what we're talking about for those of you who are just tuning in now to News Now. All right, I'm going to continue to read some of your comments. Let's see. Lori Pufflegger chiming in. To register with the tribe, you usually have to prove it with a blood quantum certificate, and it has to meet that tribe's minimum percent amount. Bob Frank sharing his story about how his tribe won't accept him, adding that the tribe has insisted I give them my original birth certificate. In Chicago, the records are sealed, so I need to go to court to unseal it. Bob Frank saying, I have adoption records that say I was registered at birth, but the tribe says no. That is a really sad story, Bob Frank. Well, we all accept you here in the News Now chat room, Bob Frank. All right, let's see. Billy Phoenix, 2001, saying people will never stop judging. Accept it and call it a day. Joe Stott chiming in on the Adam Sandler discussion, saying Adam Sandler was only good on Saturday Night Live. His movies are reductive. Dan in Florida saying Waterboy was funny but made fun of swamp people. Joe Staw saying, I like Adam Sandler, he is funny, but not in his movies. It is all the same. Katrina Fletcher saying, I adopted a little girl. My daughter in Phoenix is adopted, and she is Native. Before I got her, she was treated so poorly. Welcome back, Ron. That was so quick.
I know, I still have to go record some stuff, but I'll be back.
Oh,
sorry.
You're just teasing. That was a tease from Ron Hoon. Anything new on the Hunter case? PFC Ebersol, I can answer that for you. Right now, there is nothing new. If you tuned in yesterday afternoon, as Mia Garcia and I chatted about it, that is the latest update we have. Court is not in session on Friday. They will continue deliberations on Monday. Deliberations wrapped yesterday, and we do not have an answer yet in the Jerice Hunter trial. Yesterday, we heard from Monica Lindstrom, our legal analyst, and what I took away from what Monica said is, yes, Jerice Hunter may be convicted of child abuse, but there's a possibility that, she won't be found guilty of murder because, again, Mia and I chatted about this. The jury has to believe that Jerice Hunter killed her daughter without beyond a reasonable doubt. And so, if there's one juror up there that feels like, Jessie Shockley could still be out there, someone could have just kidnapped her, I need to see a body or something, then, you know what? Jerice Hunter then will not be found guilty of murder. It will be declared a mistrial, and then we'll have to do this all over again. All right, guys, what else are you saying about the Adam Sandler story? Kareem Williams chiming in again. It's things like this that take away from the movie itself. Adam is great at what he does, but in the same token, you cannot go around disrespecting Native Americans. All right, it looks like I have caught up with everyone's comments and concerns in the chat room. I'm going to give you guys a live look at what is happening. This is the event I'm going to take you guys to in just a second. This is an event featuring the governor of Arizona, Doug Ducey. We're going to be talking about education. This event titled United for Our Students. The future of education in Arizona is at a crossroads. Many leaders realize this and want to ensure students of all ages have access to the tools they need to succeed in school and are prepared for colleges and careers. Students are our community's future, and if properly prepared, they will help create a vibrant and strong economy for all. This event is at the Arizona Biltmore. We are waiting for Governor Doug Ducey to take the stage and speak on the importance and the future of education in Arizona.
Dear community leader,
thank you for what you're doing to help education.
Dear community leader, to the educators and community leaders, I want to say thank you for all that you are doing.
Dear community leader,
I want to thank the community leaders who are helping out our schools and our communities, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And we want to thank you for everything that you are doing now and will do in the future.
Dear leader,
as a future teacher, I would like to thank those in our community working for our education for our students.
Dear community leader,
For the community leaders, I'd like to say please trust us, please believe in us. We do follow the mission plan of the school, and we are preparing for college, career, and life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Merle Washler of the Valley of the Sun United Way.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm getting some feedback here. Let me see if I can get this fixed. Thank you for joining us today. Well, we have some elected officials with us this morning. Let's please join me in thanking them for being part of today's conversation and for their ongoing service to our community. So a round of applause. Thank you so much. You know, at Valley of the Sun United Way, we have big aspirations for our community. We believe that everyone in the Valley should have a safe place to live, food on the table, the security of financial stability, and that our kids, every kid, deserves a quality education, the tools to succeed in school, career, and life. And we all share these aspirations. We share them for our family, our friends, our coworkers, for the family next door, and for the family across town. And today we're going to have, I believe, an inspiring conversation about an education model that delivers on these aspirations, a model that I believe has the potential to be a critical factor in our kids' future and in our community's future. Now, United Way and our partners are doing important work from early childhood through career preparation. And many of you here today are donors, are partners, are volunteers, and I thank you for your help in that work. Today, we're going to spotlight a relatively new but extremely powerful initiative called Thriving Together that stands on the foundation of that work. You know, United Way serves as the anchor entity for this movement, supporting the work of so many great individuals and so many great organizations. Thriving Together is based on a collective impact model first used in the schools in Cincinnati, and that framework, developed by a group called Strive Together, is now in use in more than 50 communities across the country. Now, here in the Valley, we've brought together leaders from the business community, education, not-for-profit, the faith community, as we work to collectively achieve one goal: to prepare the 250,000 young people in Central Phoenix for success from birth to career. And these students live in a geography area served by the Phoenix Union High School District and 13 elementary districts. Combined, they are the largest cohort of students in the state and among the largest in the nation. The success of these students is vital to the success of our community. Now, there's a critical factor that stands between them and success, and it's a factor outside of their control. More than half of these kids in these school districts live in poverty. We know the single best way to move out of poverty is by earning a college degree or an industry certificate. Yet ACT scores for these kids tell us that 87% of these students are not college ready in math, and 76% are not college ready in English. What that translates to is just 1 in 10 will be college or certificate completers. What happens to the other 9 who don't? We must change that trajectory. To do this, we've engaged and gathered together 50 organizations and over 200 individuals to create a shared vision of success, gather information aligned to this vision, and establish baseline performance metrics, proof points, if you will. Use those metrics to identify programs that are working, invest resources behind those successful programs, and take them to scale, and then hold one another, the adults, accountable for the results. Today, we've assembled a lineup of experts to explain how this works both nationally and locally. So here's how we're going to spend our time together. It's going to be a working session. We're not going to break to eat. The great staff here at the Biltmore will serve you meals and beverages throughout the conversation. And the run of show looks like this. We are honored that Arizona Governor Doug Ducey will open today's conversation. Following the governor is Paul Schmitz, who works with the national consulting firm FSG as a senior advisor to the Collective Impact Forum. Paul is a highly recognized expert on social innovation, and there's no one more qualified to speak to the power of the collective impact model. Jeff Edmondson, the founder of Strive Together and a dear friend of my United Way, will follow Paul. Jeff will describe both the imperative that led his group to develop the Strive framework and how that framework is working across the nation as well as here in Phoenix. Jeff will then join a panel led by Eileen Klein, the president of the Arizona Board of Regents, a United Way board member, and a Thriving Together Leadership Council member. And then education leaders, Superintendent Kent Scribner and Jeff Smith, along with Chancellor Rufus Glasper, will round out that panel. There is no group better to go deep into how Thriving Together is working to chart the course forward for our students. Vince Roy, the founder and chairman of the Helios Education Foundation, a United Way board member, will conclude by sharing his perspective, that of a national education leader. So before I introduce the governor, I want to acknowledge the United Way board. They smartly shape my organization's aspirations and strategies. This board consistently adopts a long-term view that allows us to invest in systemic change initiatives that deliver results over the course of years and truly strengthens our community. Thriving Together is just one example. Many of our board members are here, and I thank you. Would you please stand and be recognized? We are honored to have a special guest set the stage for us today. Governor Doug Ducey is a longtime friend and supporter of United Way. He and his wife Angela are members of our Tocqueville Society. Governor Ducey, I knew I was going to do that. Is that the first one? Nah. Governor Ducey shares our aspirations for Arizona's kids. The governor understands the barriers our Thriving Together kids face. He also understands the great strength of these kids and their families and our community as we overcome those barriers. The governor's staff informed me that they're going to sprint him out of here after his remarks. So please join me in welcoming Governor Doug Ducey.
Thank you very much. It's really great to be here today among so many friends. I want to thank you, Merle, and I want to say, like the thousands of Arizona employees, families, and communities of this state, I'm proud to support the good work of the Valley of the Sun United Way. For 90 years, your organization has been devoted to building a stronger Arizona. And through your incredible commitment to ending hunger and homelessness, increasing financial stability, and ensuring all Arizona children and youth succeed, you make a daily impact in the individual lives of our entire community all across the state. Just looking around this room today is evidence of the incredible job you've done to rally organizations and individuals around this important cause. So I want to thank you, Merle, for your continued commitment to our state and to this organization and for your ongoing friendship, as well as all of the nonprofit, business, education, and faith-based organization and community leaders that are gathered here today. And I want you to know that your mission is my mission as your governor. Earlier this month, we wrapped up a productive and difficult legislative session focusing on my Opportunity for All agenda. As you know, education is a top priority of this administration and will continue to be a top priority going forward. Educational excellence is a critical issue for every Arizonans, and I want to get Arizonans across the state engaged in what we need to do. And while we'll never be able to avoid partisanship, politics, and policy disagreements, these are inevitable during any legislative session in any governor's administration. We do all have the same goal in terms of what we want the outcomes to be for our state. An opportunity for an exceptional education for every Arizona student, regardless of where they're from or where their parents can afford to live. I think we'd all agree that children are the most important resource we have as a state, and that we should do everything in our power to ensure they can access a world-class education and have an economy accommodate them at the completion of that education. That's why I'm pleased that the United Way is bringing together organizations and individuals from across all sectors and every corner of Arizona with the common goal of improving education across our state. I want you to know that today I stand united with all of you to positively and permanently impact the future of our children. This is a state responsibility, and the power to do this can begin in this room. Because improving the future of our children will be improving the future of our state and the quality of life for all of our citizens. We all know that a strong and vibrant economy is essential to an opportunity-filled Arizona. I believe we have a great place to live, work, play, recreate, retire, visit, build a business, and in many parts, get an education. At the same time, we know we can do so much better on many of these fronts, and I want to continue to work at that and be your partner in achieving that. United for Students is about creating a strong educational collaboration that strives for improvement. It unites community leaders, business leaders, school administrators, parents, teachers, and students around a shared vision. We all have a role to play in shaping Arizona's future. And it starts with focusing on our children and the results we're able to achieve in this education pursuit. And I applaud the people in this room for your cooperation and commitment to thriving together, an innovative new initiative to help students improve educational results as they reach key benchmarks in their development. Together, we're helping to place and keep them on a path to success, and I'm glad to offer my strong support to this effort. Again, I want to thank the Valley of the Sun United Way and everyone in the room for being a part of that conversation. It's one we'll continue to have over the next few months, the next few years, and beyond, and I'll look forward to your partnership and participation. I'm grateful for you having me today. Have a great conference. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is a wrap on Governor Ducey's response to the state of education here in Arizona. I'm going to go ahead and just prepare the next clip for you guys. I know we have a handful of live events coming up, still scheduled. I believe I have, let me see what I have scheduled here. I think our Eric Holder event. Yep, Eric Holder is scheduled to speak right now, actually, as of 2 minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a live look at what we are expecting. We're expected to hear from the Attorney General right here. This is the podium we are looking at. But I believe there is a live press conference out in Baltimore right now. I'm going to work to get some more information on this. But it looks like the mayor of Baltimore is speaking. I'm going to go ahead and take you guys live to this event right now and get more information for you guys on
I want to thank
this
the
topic.
police department for working so hard to protect the protesters' right to be heard and working with them to facilitate peaceful demonstrations. As we move forward, I will continue to encourage residents who wish to voice their frustrations. I encourage them to do so. I also encourage them to be peaceful. I appreciate the sentiment. That same sentiment was echoed by the...
All right, for those of you wondering, the mayor of Baltimore is speaking after people got very upset in the city over the death of Freddie Gray.
If you show up on Saturday or Sunday for service, that's my plug. If you show up, I'm sure that you will hear a message asking for continued peace. I will not deny that here in Baltimore we have had a very long and complicated history on issues such as these. But it's important to remember that we have an equally long history of peaceful and legal protest. We are the home of Thurgood Marshall. We're the home of one of the first sit-ins of the civil rights movement. We have a responsibility to preserve that legacy, and I know that we're up to the task. Now I'd like to turn things over to a few of those who were in the meeting this afternoon to go into some more details. First, I would like to hear from...
For those of you wondering, the city of Baltimore has been plagued with protests after Freddie Gray died. Freddie Gray, 25 years old, died as a result of a spinal cord injury after police arrested him. Freddie Gray could be considered the latest symbol in the running national debate over police officers' treatment of black men.
We come in the spirit of Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi, saying, let us protest, but let it be nonviolent protest, so that the legacy of the death of Freddie Gray is that a great city will become greater after this. And so we're here today to stand again with our mayor for justice for Freddie Gray, his family, and our entire city, because Baltimore is going to be better after this than it was before.
I would now like to introduce Gregory Perkins, pastor at St. Paul Community Baptist Church.
At the historic St. Paul Community Baptist Church, where I'm privileged to serve, we have a mentoring program we call Boys to Men. We've targeted school-aged African-American boys from our church and community. We meet bi-weekly on Fridays from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Our boys are served light refreshments. They play non-violent video games such as NBA basketball, NFL football, boxing, and speed racing. We sponsor other recreational activities like roller skating, bowling, Orioles baseball games, and we have fun day at Six Flags Amusement Park. At each session, we begin with scripture reading and prayer. We then present our presenter. The presenter is an African-American man who is a product of the community. In the past, we've had school principals, assistant principals, an athletic director and coach, self-employed entrepreneurs, a pharmacist, the Baltimore City Council president, a retired Baltimore City police officer, a Marine helicopter mechanic, an airplane pilot, professional basketball player, and layman. However, every presenter was born and raised somewhere in Baltimore City. We engage our boys in a serious dialogue. No subject is off limits. We talk about peer pressure, bullying, aggression, and violence. We give them the tools to overcome adversity, that your attitude determines your altitude. We impress upon them the value of a good education, that as men there are consequences to our decisions, and that we are responsible for our choices. We build self-esteem. We offer them a pathway to success and achievement, as we've also partnered with their parents. That's very important. We highly stress parental involvement. Parents play an essential part as we reach out to their sons, and our parents are very supportive of the program. We offer an alternative to crime, gangs, drugs, functional illiteracy, and unwanted pregnancy. Make no mistake, our community is overwhelmed with a plethora of obstacles and challenges, from urban blight, police brutality, to drug addiction. So rather than curse the darkness, we've decided to light a candle. We began our program in April of 2013, so we're 2 years old, and we've seen tremendous improvement in the lives of the boys who participate. We're calling all pastors in Baltimore City with a passion for outreach to join us next Tuesday, April 28th, 2015 at 11 o'clock. If you have a passion to help save our sons, we invite you as we rescue our children, redeem our families, and take back our community. Good job.
Next I would like to bring up Rabbi Andrew Bush from the Baltimore Hebrew Synagogue congregation. I'm sorry.
Same thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it looks like this feed has frozen, so I'm going to take you live to D.C., where Attorney General Eric Holder is scheduled to speak any minute. And it looks like we have gotten that feed back from the press conference out in Baltimore, so I will take you back to that. I'll continue to monitor this feed coming in from Attorney General Eric Holder's event, and we will go live to this as soon as it begins.
But we must remember at every given point, we are all different, but we are all the same in that this is our community, and we must nurture it together.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. Our last speaker will be Tessa Hill-Aston, President of the Baltimore branch of the NAACP. Tessa.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I'm very honored to be the President of the Baltimore City NAACP, where the home of Thurgood Marshall, Emmanuel McLean, and also the Mitchell family. It has a long history of working in the community. Just like the other people have said, the community of Sandtown Gilmore is a stronghold of Baltimore City. A lot of great people, including Thurgood Marshall, came from that neighborhood a few blocks away. My grandmother, who was a great person in the family, she came from that neighborhood. So it's a great neighborhood with a lot of good history, and the people who live there are also great, especially the children, if they have a chance to live and grow and get some of the services that we need to render to them from the people who are standing here, along with other services that we need to give them. I have been in the community every night this week. I met the mother, I met the father, and last night I was with one of the brothers. The brother said to me last night, we do not want violence, we do not want crime, we do not want anyone to get hurt. Rallying and demanding respect for Freddie Gray is what the family wants, and they want justice. So right now, as people proceed with rallying and coming to Baltimore, we do not need outside forces to come in and try to encourage people to act other ways other than just rallying and demanding justice. We do not need anyone coming in bullying our community and bullying people who are there just to get justice that they have right for. When you come into another city and act different and try to encourage people, that's a form of bullying. And we should stand firm together, faith-based, the mayor and all of us, and not allow anyone to bully us to destroy our community, what we need after all this is over. So God bless the family, and we will work together and continue to do what we do. And the NWCP stands strong because rallying and marching is what we do, but we do it peacefully. And when we finish, the neighborhood is still whole, and then coming up with solutions and resolutions to work together and pray that we all can go forth and teach children to be good, and that we have a strong community, and that African American men are not murdered. Thank you very much.
Great job.
Thank you all very much. Before I go into questions again.
All right, guys, it looks like Attorney General Eric Holder has just come out, so we're switching to that event now.
There will be a press.
Again, this is Attorney General Eric Holder. Speaking on his final day as Attorney General.
Please take your seats. Whoa, okay. A couple of business items. Now, my portrait hangs on the 5th floor of the Justice Department, and something that has not been mentioned, but that I really kind of pressed Simi Knox, who is the author of the artist of the portrait. My kids' names are hidden in the portrait, and if you look on the button of my jacket and on the wings of the eagle, you'll find the 3 of them. And that's the lore I want to have come out about this portrait. Find the names of the Holder children, okay? The other thing, Lee Loftus asked me to check to make sure that you all know that you're on annual leave. But in my final act as Attorney General, screw it. This has been a great 6 years. Being at the Justice Department has, I say the last 6 years, but the reality is I've been at this department since 1976, off and on. I started as a line lawyer in the public integrity section at the criminal division. And it's going to be hard for me, not going to be, it is hard for me to walk away from the people who I love and who represent this institution that I love so much. But it is time. It's time to make a transition. Change is a good thing. And I'm confident in the work that you have done, that we have laid a foundation for even better things over the course of the next couple of years. I think that as we look back at these past 6 years, what I want you all to understand is that you have done truly historic and big things. I mean, no matter where you looked, if you look at, from the basic stuff, this department is restored. It's restored to what it always was, and certainly it was when I got here, and what it must always be, free of politicization, focused on the mission, and making sure that justice is done without any kind of interference from political outsiders. We have expressed faith in the greatest court system in the world and brought the toughest national security cases into that system, and with unbelievable results. The notion that we're still having a debate about whether or not cases ought to be brought in the Article III system or in military tribunals is over. It's dead. And that's because, again, of the great work that the prosecutors in various districts have performed in putting together wonderful cases and then successfully trying those cases. We have had an impact on the environment and people and companies that would have despoiled our environment. Historic wins in that regard as well. You look at the financial recoveries that related to the mortgage crisis and the huge amounts of money that we recovered. And then I think what's important, and Tony West is here, and I think he deserves some special thanks for that, for what was done with that money, to try to get it to the people who suffered the most. The thought was never to simply take that money and put it into the United States Treasury, but to come up with ways in which we could try to get people back into their homes or to somehow reduce the debt load that they were dealing with. Our antitrust division lives again, and has had a tremendous impact in our country and in the positive things that they've done for the American consumer. We announced, or we've heard, I guess, today, that a merger that I think would have been extremely anti-competitive and would have not been in the best interest of the American consumer has been abandoned. That is because of the great work of the men and women in the antitrust division. Our tax division, overseas accounts, dealing with our allies in Europe, bringing money back and disallowing the practice that for too long had gone on where people had squirreled away hidden money that they needed to actually pay taxes for and be held to be accountable for. Historic stuff, that as well. Indian country. You think about the tough history that exists between the United States and our native people. We have put on track, I think, the ability to right some really serious historical wrongs. We've done, I think, a great deal. Much work remains to be done, but this Justice Department was committed to addressing those problems in as frank a way as is possible. Criminal justice reform. If you look at all the statistics, you'll see the incarceration rate goes like this and then it goes up in about 1974, late 70s, something like that. And we are a nation that incarcerates too many people for too long and for no good law enforcement reason. It is time to change the approaches that we have been using these past 30, 40 years. And through the great work of the people in this department, we are starting to reverse that trend. Again, more work remains to be done, but we're on the way. Civil rights. The LGBT community is something that I have tried to focus on. I think that is the civil rights issue of our time. This whole question of marriage, which will be resolved by the next, I guess, couple of months or so. Hopefully that decision will go in a way that I think is consistent with who we say we are as a people. But I also think that that is really just a sign. It's an indication. It's one part of the fight for overall LGBT equality. And I think the work that you all have done in that regard is going to be an integral part of the legacy of this department. And then, you know, the thing that I think in some ways animates me, angers me, is this whole notion about protecting the right to vote. We celebrated this year the 50th anniversary of the passage of the Voting Rights Act. I went to Selma to commemorate Bloody Sunday. John Lewis was here earlier. This nation fought a civil war, endured slavery by another name, dealt with legalized segregation. A civil rights movement in the mid and early 60s transformed this nation. And the notion that we would somehow go back and put in place things that make it more difficult for our fellow citizens to vote is simply inconsistent with all that's good about this country and something that I was bound and determined to fight. And our Civil Rights Division has done a superb job in crafting lawsuits based on voting wrongly gutted by the Supreme Court, and I suspect that we will see successes from those efforts that have, those cases that have been filed. But that, of all things, simply cannot be allowed to happen. The right to vote must be protected. I want to thank my family, my lovely wife, for the sacrifices they've made over the years, not only to allow me to be Attorney General, but to be Deputy Attorney General, to be U.S. Attorney here in Washington, D.C. Honey, you've been the rock in the family, and you've allowed me the opportunity to do the things that really animated me and allowed me to work with all of these great people. I want to also say something about the folks who you see standing here, my detail. These are people, men and women, who literally sacrifice, their well-being in terms of their interactions with their families. They travel with me. They miss weekends. They work long and hard hours, and they're prepared to do ultimate kinds of things. And I could not do this job without them. Now, they will not smile because they never do that. I see Marcus is smiling a little bit there. Bart's also smiling, all right? So that's, but yeah. And then I just want to thank all of you. All of you. You are what makes this institution great. We have a great building, and it is something that is historic in its nature, but it is only kept great by the dedication, the perseverance, the commitment that all of you show on a daily basis. And I hope that you all will understand that the jobs that you have, there is not a routine job in the United States Department of Justice. Given the great power that we are entrusted with, the responsibilities that we have, I don't want you all to ever think that, it's just Tuesday, I'm going to get through the day. That's not who we are at the United States Department of Justice. It's not who you all are. And I think that has certainly been shown by the way in which you've conducted yourselves and by the way in which you have accomplished so much over the last 6 years. I said earlier that when we celebrated Robert Kennedy's 50th anniversary of his swearing in 2011, people said that was a golden age for the United States Department of Justice. Well, I think that 50 years from now, and maybe even sooner than that, people are going to look back at the work that you all did and say that this was another golden age. That's how good you all are. That's how good you all are. That's how dedicated, committed, and wonderful you all have been, with a focus on justice, with a focus on helping those who cannot help themselves. You have distinguished yourselves. There's a long line of excellence in the United States Department of Justice, but every now and again, at an appropriate time, a group comes along that is worthy of special recognition, and you all are, in fact, one of those groups. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I'm going to miss you. I am going to miss this building. I'm going to miss this institution. But more than anything, I'm going to miss you all. This building is always going to be home. You all are always going to be my family, and wherever I am, whatever I am doing, I will be rooting for you from the sidelines. Now I want to do something here. We have these bands that I've been wearing for the last whatever number of whatevers. I think I can officially take this off now. I think we can officially say now that Eric Holder is free. But it is not necessarily something that I want. I don't ever want to be free of this great institution. I don't want to ever be free of the relationships that I have forged with so many of you. I don't want to ever be free of the notion that I am a member of the United States Department of Justice. This is something that has meant the world to me. It has helped define me as an individual and as a lawyer, as a man. And for that reason, although I got rid of those bands, I'm free in one sense that really is not as consequential as the way in which I will never be free, nor want to be free of the United States Department of Justice, or free from all of you. Thank you for your support over the past 6 years. I look forward to all that you're going to do under the great new leadership of a wonderful Attorney General who will be sworn in on Monday. And I expect that you will do great things over the course of these next 2 years. But beyond that, for those of you who are career employees, I expect that you will do great things as long as you are part of the Justice Department. There are some of you here who will be here 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and I expect that your biographies will be littered with wonderful, wonderful things. But again, thank you all so much. I'm going to miss you. And as I said as I ended a previous speech, this is my third going away. But I promise, it's the last one. But I'll end it this way. I love you all madly. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to take you live to McLean, Virginia now, where President Obama is speaking and delivering remarks to mark 10 years of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, okay? Obama just started speaking about 2 minutes ago. I'm taking you there live right now.
So I'm very grateful for him. Here at ODNI, Jim's also led important reforms, both within the office and across the intelligence community. Today, the community is more collaborative and more integrated than it has ever been in the past. And since no good deed ever goes unpunished, in appreciation of this integrity and outstanding work, I sent Jim to North Korea. And I know he had a wonderful time in Pyongyang. But thanks to the role that Jim played, he returned home with Kenneth Bay and Matthew Miller to be reunited with their families. Today's also special to him because it happens to be his 50th wedding anniversary to his wonderful wife, Sue. So we want to congratulate the two of them. And fear not, this is not all he's doing for their 50th wedding anniversary. My understanding is they're headed off for a well-deserved anniversary vacation this weekend, so I'm going to move this along. The second reason I wanted to be here was to thank all of you at ODNI. I see Jim or Mike Dempsey or sometimes Stephanie every morning, and I know that everything they present reflects incredible hard work on the part of hundreds of people, thousands of people across the various agencies that are represented. And I want you to know that Jim and Mike and Stephanie and all the folks who give me these briefings, they are the first one to acknowledge that they are just the tip of the operation and that they can't do their job if it weren't for the incredible contributions that all of you are making every single day. I know that sometimes it could seem like a one-way street. You push up your reports, but you don't always know how your work is received by your customers, and I guess I'm the number one customer. You don't always maybe get feedback. So I'm here just to tell you, you do an outstanding job. The work that you provide is vital for me being able to make good decisions. And the fact that the work you prepare is giving it to me straight, that doesn't look at the world through rose-colored glasses, that doesn't exaggerate threats but doesn't underplay the significant challenges that we face around the world. That's vitally important to me and as a consequence vitally important to the security of the American people. So Jim knows it, Mike knows it. The people who meet with me are always extolling your virtues, but I figured it'd be useful for you to hear from me directly in saying how much we appreciate the incredible hard work and effort that you make every single day. Whether it's the PDB, your daily articles, your expert briefs, NIEs, I could not do my job without your insights and your analysis and your judgment. More broadly, you're dedicated to your founding mission. The 9/11 Commission said we needed to unify our intelligence community. The legislation that created the DNI made you the statutory head of the community overseeing all the agencies. And it's not an easy task, bringing together 17 different organizations. They each have unique histories and missions and cultures and tradecraft. Many of you here represent those agencies, and yet you come here together to create a sum that's even greater and stronger than its individual parts. And we see the results. We've got more sharing of intelligence across the community and also beyond it with our other partners. Federal, state, local, and private sectors are now working together more effectively than they have in the past. New technologies and new satellites are being shared, and working across various platforms means that we're able to do a better job both accumulating information but also disseminating it. There's more transparency than there's been in the past. There's more innovation than there's been in the past. All that is making a difference each and every day. I know that integrating the efforts and contributions of all 17 organizations, people, expertise, capabilities is never-ending work. And then there's the challenge of being as open and transparent as possible, even as we continue to protect intelligence that saves lives. But I want you to remember, the United States is the most professional, most capable, most cutting-edge intelligence community in the world. And part of the reason is because all of you here at ODNI bring it together. It makes a difference. Which brings me to my third and final point, a message that I hope you share with the colleagues who are not in this auditorium. I want you to share it with all the home agencies. You can take great pride in your service. Many of you, those of you with gray beards or goatees, or in Jim's case, just no hair, are intelligence veterans with decades of service. Some of you are young and look even younger, a new post-9/11 generation. And over the years, I know some of you have lost good friends and colleagues, patriots, men and women who gave their lives, like those honored in the stars on the memorial wall at Langley. On days like today, we remember them and we honor them as well. These are challenging times, and over the last few years, we've seen unprecedented intelligence disclosures. We've seen wild swings with respect to our budgets because of sequestration and furloughs, increasing demands for intelligence due to everything from Russian aggression in Ukraine to turmoil and ISIL in the Middle East. And today, like all Americans, our thoughts and prayers also continue to be with the families of Dr. Warren Weinstein and Giovanni Laporto. I'm not going to repeat everything I said yesterday, but I do want to make one point again. We're going to review what happened. We're going to identify the lessons that can be learned and any improvements and changes that can be made. And I know those of you who are here share our determination to continue doing everything we can to prevent the loss of innocent lives. You know, I was asked by somebody, you know, how do you absorb news like that we received the other day? And I told the truth. It's hard. But the one thing I wanted everybody to know, because I know you, because I work with you, because I know the quality of this team, is that we all bleed when we lose an American life. We all grieve when any innocent life is taken. We don't take this work lightly. And I know that each and every one of you understand the magnitude of what we do and the stakes involved. And these aren't abstractions, and we're not cavalier about what we do. And we understand the solemn responsibilities that are given to us. And our first job is to make sure that we protect the American people. But there's not a person that I talk to that's involved in the intelligence community that also doesn't understand that we have to do so while upholding our values and our ideals and our laws and our constitutions and our commitment to democracy. And that's part of the reason why I'm so grateful to work with you, because I know you share that commitment. Understanding that this is hard stuff. Everybody here is committed to doing it the right way. And for that reason, I am absolutely committed to making sure that the American people understand all that you put in to make sure that we do it the right way. I'm very grateful for that. This self-reflection, this willingness to examine ourselves, to make corrections, to do better, that's part of what makes us Americans. It's part of what sets us apart from other nations. It's part of what keeps us not only safe, but also strong and free. And part of what makes our job even more challenging is that despite the extraordinary work that's done here and the lives that are saved on an ongoing basis, a lot of our work still requires that we maintain some things as classified, and we can't always talk about all the challenges. And the one thing I know about people in the IC is they don't seek the limelight. That means sometimes that the world doesn't always see your successes, the threats that you prevent, or the terrorist attacks you thwart, or the lives that you save. But I don't want you or folks across the intelligence community to ever forget the difference that you make every day. Because of you, we've had the intelligence to take out al-Qaeda leaders, including Osama bin Laden. Because of you, we've had the intelligence quickly that showed Syria had used chemical weapons and then had the ability to monitor its removal. Because of you, we had the intelligence, despite Russia's obfuscations, to tell the world the truth about the downing of Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 over Ukraine. Because of you, we had the intelligence support that helped enable our recent nuclear framework with Iran, and you're going to be critical to our efforts to forge a comprehensive deal to prevent Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon. So you help keep us safe, but you also help protect our freedoms by doing it the right way. And the American people and people around the world may never know the full extent of your success. There may be those outside who question or challenge what we do, and we welcome those questions and those challenges because that makes us better. It can be frustrating sometimes, but that's part of the function of our democracy. But I know what you do. We're more secure because of your service. We're more secure because of your patriotism and your professionalism. And I'm grateful for that. And the American people are grateful as well to you and your families who sacrifice alongside you. So it's been 10 long and challenging years. But when we look back on those 10 years, the American people have been a whole lot safer. And I'm confident that over the next 10 years and 10 years after that, as long as we continue to have outstanding patriots like yourselves, we're going to be okay. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless America. Miss you, man. How you been doing?
Found a new job.
Yeah, you look all right. You look great. Absolutely. Thank you. Good to see you.
We're going to do our next way.
Thank you. You guys have been doing great work. Keep it up. And thanks for all you do to help us out.
All right, guys, it looks like we're getting a feed in from our national sources. I think this is in Georgia, where this is a pro-American flag rally. I'm going to take you guys live there. Either Georgia or Alabama. I may not have heard correctly, but again, this is a pro-American flag rally. This is in Georgia. We are learning where this is in response to an anti-American flag rally that occurred last Friday. This is a pro-American flag rally in Georgia.
Yeah. Changing control rooms anyway, aren't they? 3 o'clock. Want me to tell them we're going to set up for that 3:30 presser now? No? All right. I don't know. I'll ask.
All right, again, you guys are looking at live images from Georgia where a pro-American flag rally is being held in response to an anti-American flag rally that was held there last week. All right, guys, I feel like I have brought you a lot of political coverage, politics-related news, a lot of politically related live events. So I want to lighten things up here on News Now. I'm actually going to bring you this story. Hello, Ron Hoon. You sneak in right when I'm about to play a story.
Well,
What's so interesting is I just did a huge block of politics and you weren't even here for
oh,
it.
Samia Khan.
Like Ron Hoon, I was
History-
just changing the subject here.
History with the Hooner.
Ron,
and now
you were
politics
not...
with Dr. Dancer Ron.
Dr. Dancer Ron, we were doing a lot of political we had a lot of political discussion
Just give me the
going
one
on.
big highlight. What was the
Well,
one?
here's the thing.
And what was the
we
great
had-
comment in the chat box?
We had Eric Holder speaking,
Yes,
doing
right.
his farewell.
Mhm, yep.
Then we had President Obama speaking.
Yep, right.
And then I took them all to this pro-American flag rally out in Georgia.
Oh.
And the chat room and I were just discussing Obamacare.
Wow.
It was really intense.
Now, that's the beauty of News Now, is you come in with a lineup, and you always pop over and you're like, okay, Dr. Dancer Ron, what do you want to talk about? We do that. So there's a little bit of an outline. But it's kind of like wherever you guys want to take it is
where we end up taking
where we
it.
end up going.
Sandra Bullock wasn't even on our rundown, and then someone brought it up in the chat, and suddenly we're talking about the people's most beautiful.
I know.
But actually, I was about to change topics. I was telling them, we've done a lot of political talk this morning, and not saying that we're not going to continue, but I wanted to switch things up and play the story that Jessica Flores did yesterday.
Okay.
About esports. Did you see this story?
Yeah.
It's lighter. It's fun.
It is fun. Yeah, go ASU.
Long story short, anytime you get mad at your kids for playing too many video games, here's a reason to not get mad at them.
Correct, Mom and Dad. They could make millions someday and build you a house.
Right. And so I'm going to play this story. It's lighthearted. It's fun. Want to switch things up a bit. It's a minute and a half. And then right after this, Ron and I will be back to chat with you guys, because that's what we like to do here on News Now.
But their game may put them on the path to fame.
Balancing life and playing the game it's hard. We're literally putting in probably close to 50 to 60 hours per week.
This is the ASU esports team. They're competitive video gamers and part of a growing industry. Fans sell out auditoriums just to watch the gamers battle it out on the screens.
We aren't making, Michael Jordan money. We aren't even making, practice squad NFL money.
But the student team is on their way to scoring nearly $500,000 in scholarship money. That's if they win the Heroes of the Dorm Collegiate Esports Tournament. They've made it to the semifinals in Los Angeles, where a live audience will be watching.
It's absolutely worth it, that if we win anyways.
It's within grasp now. It was always within grasp, but now it's there are 4 teams left. So it's 2 more wins and we win. I have college trips, which will be a huge relief for me and my parents financially.
Their prize, though, more than free tuition, there's also the recognition. In the world of gaming, they could be the heroes.
If we make it to grand finals, it's going to be broadcast on ESPN2. That's amazing to me.
So I was showing Ron this tweet that I was just about to put out because I've become addicted to these trending topics on Twitter. And the latest one is awkward greetings in 5 words.
I saw.
And so I had tweeted something like,
watch News Now or die.
Well, no, I did tweet that one, but then I also, because I go back and forth between my work account and my personal, because that's this might be. So I wrote one that was I think I've been Facebook stalking you.
Oh, I've been.
Or,
okay. Yes, that's 5.
Facebook stalking you.
Right.
And
so what happened?
Because that's something that's true. Sometimes you meet people and it's oh my God, I've been Facebook stalking you.
I haven't ever said that to anybody.
Well, you haven't, and
okay,
no one's ever actually said it because it's the thing you think. Because the whole concept of awkward greetings in 5 words is to say things you think but you don't actually mean.
How's
so that would be an awkward. It's oh, I've been Facebook stalking you.
How's that for a friendly introduction?
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, I've seen you on the internet. And so I'm responding to someone because he was haha, that's really funny. I was funny because it's actually true. And then I'm telling him now. I told one of my now best friends back in 2004, I saw you on Facebook. I've been meaning to meet you. No joke. I said that. It was one of my friends who actually came to Arizona a few weeks ago for my birthday.
Wow.
But legit, for that full year, she thought I was crazy.
Yeah, well,
she was
how does she get that impression?
She was just okay, this girl's weird. But the thing is, I had Facebook stalked her and realized, wow, we would totally get along.
That's cool. It's amazing, Samia. So, for my mom's birthday, you saw the picture I put on Facebook.
Yeah, I've been Facebook.
And I heard from somebody who remembered my mom from 60 years ago in our little town up in Washington. It's amazing. Facebook is so cool in so many ways. Like that.
Yeah.
The connections it's been making for people. I love it. Although, if we're just talking social media, that picture I just put on Instagram is blowing up.
What did you post?
Just the that rainbow from this morning.
You should pose with a clean jacket. look, guys.
I know.
You should wear
Well,
the jacket. You should wear the blazer.
Actually, we should have figured out a way
To
that
put
the
it on
jacket
display.
would be just sort of hanging back. Hold on. Is there a way?
There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way, Ron.
Okay, hold on. There it is. See now.
As long as the TV screen.
Oh, Samia.
Ron is breaking the News Now set, guys.
Hold on. Here we go.
I don't know
There we
what
go.
Ron is doing
There we
here.
go.
But as long as the TV does not fall.
Okay, no, it's all good. I mean, we should subliminally, that jacket should have been hanging there all morning long. This was the jacket that was attacked that created the Blazergate trending topic.
It was trending at least here on News Now.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
All right,
Yes.
guys, we are back. Okay, well, what are you guys saying? I want to know what their take was on this video game story. Because I really just wanted to change the tone in the chat box because things were getting very heated.
Were they? Yeah.
Yes. Rachel saying games. Yeah, I can't watch people play games. I love games.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing about watching sports on TV. Some people prefer to play them. Some people would rather go shoot hoops than watch them on TV. I mean, unless there's a fantastic game, you know, with in the NBA semifinals or something. But this, I have a feeling this is going to do pretty good in the ratings with them putting it on ESPN.
Oh, the video game.
Correct.
Yes.
And the name is so perfect. Heroes of the Dorm.
It is really crazy that because the thing is, there's an entirely huge gaming culture out there.
Right.
That is yet to be like monetized.
Exactly.
I guess.
By the way, I should just give you the 15-second version because Halala is now on, and a lot of people. It was more like noon 2 days ago. This hour, where I said I was going to take it to the cleaners after having what would be the proper word? Because I keep saying attacked. There's a better word.
Destroyed.
Almost nearly destroyed Samia's red blazer. So took it to the cleaners. It's spectacular. Look, it is actually it's brighter and more vibrant now than it was even before.
Let's get to a couple more topics on my list before we wrap up.
Okay.
Because,
Good, because
we have
I
so
got
many
one
live events. Oh, do you have
and
one
I got
that you
one
want
we
to talk?
have to talk.
Okay, since you're so passionate, let's go to your topic first.
Really? Okay.
You got very excited.
I do. I'm very excited about it. Go to Fox News.
All right.
You know, as time goes on, I'm going to think of you more and more as an Arizonan, but right now I think of you as an Arizonan from California.
That's true.
So when
That's
stories
who I am.
come out of California, like this one, now let me just drop down a little bit here, because I thought, holy cow, and it's a big trender as well. Now just give me a minute. This whole thing. No, hold on, one more second. Okay, here we go. What? Believe me, Samia, when you see these pictures, you're going to be like, this was actually worth. Okay, here we go. Trending in the U.S. What? No, it's not on here?
What was
Okay, well, there is a story coming out of L.A. They just released... Oh, here it is. Okay, ready? Here we go. They have just released pictures of what the stadium's going to look like, the new L.A. football stadium. Why do you see this thing?
I'm very... Whoa.
Okay, no. With a gigantic mural, but go to number 2. This was the one that got me.
Whoa. That is crazy. So these
Now-
are designs that were released last night for this proposed NFL stadium in L.A.
Yes.
Isn't this in Carson?
It's in Carson.
Yeah.
Right where the 405 meets...
The 110.
Oh, those are two good freeways.
I don't know if they're good as much as they're awful because there's always traffic.
Can I quote you on that, Samia? I don't know if
Do I
they're...
get quote of the day?
Yes, you might. I don't know if they're good as much as they're awful.
Look, once you spend years in traffic,
Yeah, I know.
years of your life in traffic.
But look at that thing, and I saw that, and I instantly thought, well, why not? Why not go so over the top creative? Because when they open think it's this September, when they open the new stadium in Minnesota for the Vikings.
Oh, right. We've looked at that here on News Now.
I mean, that thing looks crazy wild. I mean, why not make this thing look like a spaceship with a gigantic window? And
it is pretty crazy. Patrick's saying that's like an $87 billion stadium. Actually, according to this article, the thoroughly revamped plans for the $1.7 billion joint stadium proposal by the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers.
I mean, it sounds like a lot, but you realize the government spends that much money in about an hour?
I don't care. Do you know how nice one's life would be if they had $1.7 billion lying around?
No, that life would be good. But Jerry,
how about this? Why don't we split the $1.7 billion?
To who?
I'm saying us.
Okay.
We would each get what, like 500, 300, 800.
Yeah.
850 million each.
Yeah, we would, and you're the math whiz. So life in America, there are only 2 seasons of life each year.
Oh, football?
And getting ready for football.
Here's Ashley chiming in, and your loyal viewers, right? SK, money for all of us. Yeah, of course. If I had $850 million lying around, sure, I would share a little bit. Person who got quote of the day would get more than just a pat on the back. He would get some money thrown at them.
Oh,
well.
Yeah.
I know everyone's like, Samia, you're leaving us out of the split. No. Don't worry. I will include you guys.
Correct. But I actually think there's a slightly better chance that this football stadium is going to be built than that we're going to each get $850 million to spread around.
Ron the Pessimist, new name for you.
Ron the Pessimist.
No more Dancer Ron. Pessimistic.
Dr. Dancer.
Pessimist.
Dr. Dancer Downer.
Yeah.
Dr. Dancer Downer, Ron.
All right, now we are reading this article. The designs were presented in New York this week to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and the League's committee on possibly relocating a team to the greater LA area.
Yep, I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
The flowing metallic modern stadium design features a horseshoe-shaped seating arrangement that is open on one end. Oh, there it is. That's the opening right there. We wanted the building to be iconic and sleek, like a luxury sports car.
Ooh.
David Manica, president of stadium designer Manica Architecture, told the LA Times, which first reported on this revamped design, very aerodynamic, in motion, flowing lines from every angle.
Wow.
Its primary feature is a tower about 120 feet tall that will give off lightning bolts during Chargers games.
Really?
Lightning bolts. Wow.
Oh, that's it in the middle.
There it is, guys.
Now, we can't really zoom in, though, can we?
We can.
Oh, wait. Sure we can. Stand by, everybody.
Oh, look.
Oh, this is getting better.
Lightning bolts. The LA Stadium.
Yeah.
Guys. Very
Shooting
fancy.
off lightning bolts. As much money as the NFL makes, let's quit building boring stadiums. I'm sorry, have you seen the stadium they play in like, St. Louis?
This is a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
So let's now take bets. Likelihood that LA will actually get a football team. Because, you know, the city of Los Angeles has been talking about getting a football team since the last one left.
Yeah.
This isn't a new topic of discussion.
Right.
It just feels like now we're getting closer and closer. Back when I was a news reporter and anchor at my college television station, back at USC, Annenberg TV News.
KUSC?
It wasn't. No, KUSC is actually our radio station.
Oh.
It was called ATV on Annenberg TV News. In fact, some Fox 10 alums such as Mia Garcia and Andrew Hasman and Jessica Flores all went through that program as well.
Okay.
Point of this being, back when I was in school years ago, there was talk about LA getting a football team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that was almost a decade ago,
right.
But it was sometime in that last decade.
Yes, right.
And all I'm saying is, will we actually see some results?
Now, let me just ask you guys, what do you think this actually looks like? Because I love what Jane Wilcox just said. Did you see that? She said, this looks like, and now I'm just visualizing it, and it's funny, but it's also partially true, because all humor, is partially true one way or another, is that she said, this looks like a flattened football helmet. Because that's the face mask. This would be the face mask. And this would be over here on the right where we are covering up the San Diego Charger bolt would be the ear hole. And so we ask the question, ladies and gentlemen, are we getting closer by the day to an NFL team in Los Angeles? You know what I don't get? Is where's the outrage from Oakland? Where's the outrage from San Diego?
Oh, that's an excellent. Here's the thing with Oakland. You have the Niners there still.
Okay.
In the Bay Area. So you still have one Bay Area team. And the thing with the Oakland Raiders is that who did the Raiders belong to before they belonged to Oakland?
L.A.
That's my point.
But they were in Oakland before they were in L.A., so it was Oakland, L.A., Oakland.
So now it's time to give it back.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to build this stadium. They're going to have to stick.
I feel more bad for the San Diego fans. The Chargers.
Yes, I do too, because those are loyal fans. But I bet you.
And they don't have another football team. They don't have any basketball teams.
I know.
They barely have the Padres, I guess.
How do you call
Not barely, but you know what I mean.
Well, no, they do have the Padres. But how do you call yourself a major league town if you have no sports or one sport? It's like San Antonio. They have one.
But they have one sport, but a great sport.
They have a great
team. They have the NBA, and not only do they have an NBA team, they have a winning NBA team. Yes. A NBA team that has dominated the 2000s.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. You're San Antonio. You might want some more sports teams.
Maybe that was
That's not the best example, is all I'm saying. Yeah. Because even though they have one, having one winning team is better than having 4 losing teams.
Orlando.
Magic.
Yep, that's it. One. I mean, I'm just saying it's a very small group of major metropolitan areas that can support the Big Four. Do you want to know how many cities there are?
Arizona, Phoenix. We got all of them.
We got all of them.
We have football, basketball.
Yes.
Baseball, hockey.
Right.
And women's basketball.
Okay. But traditionally, the first 4 are considered the Big Four.
I know, but I'm just saying that there's even more.
Sure, there is.
And then there's the Rattlers.
Correct. And NASCAR comes to town twice a year. Here.
And so much golf. I see.
Yeah, golf. Yeah.
So much golf.
And we do
here.
Super Bowls and national championship
This
college
is a great
games.
sports
It is a
town.
great sports town. But literally, there are not very many cities that can handle all 4. You have L.A. Mm-hmm. You have New York.
But L.A. doesn't even have all 4.
Oh no, you're right. You have New York. You have Chicago. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Not Seattle.
No, I think you have Detroit.
Okay, Detroit has the Lions, the Pistons.
Yep. And the Tigers. And the Red Wings.
All right, You're right, Detroit.
Right. But
their economy might be failing.
Yeah, I know.
Too soon.
No.
Shout out to Detroit.
Okay. Actually, there's a commercial out right now for Detroit that I thought they actually
they
make
can
it look...
afford all those sports teams.
Well, somehow they pull it off.
I feel
they
like
have
I'm
very
just
loyal
offending a lot of people today on News Now.
Well, anyway.
I love Detroit.
So,
In fact, the first time I ever went to Canada was during a trip to Detroit.
Nice.
The first time I ever tried Tim
Now,
Hortons.
there's another town with 2 sports teams, but they are incredibly loyal. Buffalo, not far from Detroit. The Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres. They have no NBA. They don't have a major league franchise. But the fans, if the Buffalo Bills stink, they still come out in huge numbers.
I love hometown loyalty. It's the way the Oklahoma City Thunder support
their team. Yes, right.
Sad for the Oklahoma City Thunder, though. They just lost their coach. Kevin Durant came out, wrote this big Instagram post. He looks very sad. Well, I'll pull it up.
Well, that might have been foolish on their part.
I follow Kevin Durant.
Because Kevin Durant loves his coach. And did they think twice about this? Did they say to themselves, whoa, hold on, we might lose our superstar?
I'm going to show you this.
Okay.
This is Kevin Durant, Easy Money Sniper, 2 days ago on Instagram.
Easy Money Sniper.
Today was tough for me.
Okay, yeah.
While I support our team's decision 100% and look forward to the upcoming season and the future in OKC. So here's the thing. Can I just stop really quickly?
Yeah.
People were afraid that Kevin Durant would leave. Here he is saying, while I support our team's decision 100% and I look forward to the upcoming season and the future in OKC. So he is telling them he's staying. Scotty was my coach and a friend for the past 7 seasons. We accomplished a lot together, and those times will never be taken away from us. I grew as both a man and a ball player under his guidance, and for that I will forever be grateful.
Okay.
I wish nothing but the best for him and his family, who have also been such a big part of the city and organization.
Yeah.
I know he will be very successful in wherever his next steps in life are. I'm sad.
I could tell you had a twinge of sadness right
Yeah,
there.
because I'm a Kevin Durant fan.
Yep. Okay, so who had the best line of the day? Did you see anything that you just laughed out loud? Me? I don't think you're eligible. I'm talking about. It's like why when I go MC something, I don't buy the raffle tickets, because if I put my hand in and I say, "Oh, the Hooner won," there would be like a melee.
Fine, Ron.
So you can't win. I'm sorry.
Although I think I qualify.
We have people across the world who are trying desperately to win each day for the line.
I didn't write any down, so I'm just gonna have to scroll through, and we're gonna have to look through.
All right, let's do it.
Halala 426. We should all bring our dry cleaning to the place who fixed Samia's jacket.
It's a pretty good one, Halala.
The blazer that broke news now, Rachel.
Ooh, Rachel, that's nice.
Go hug a tree, Billy Phoenix, 2001. No burrito emoji? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, fail. Ashley Gray, appalled that there's no burrito emoji.
Yeah, I know. It's like they've thought of everything else.
Let's see.
Okay.
I'm gonna scroll as far back as I can. Be nice, be quiet, and pet the bunny, Katrina says with a picture of a bunny.
Okay.
I think she was trying to...
settle everybody down in the chat box today?
Yeah, things are getting crazy. Challenge Sandra Bullock for the title, People Magazine's title. Thanks, Halala.
I know. You were getting lots of love on that.
It's because of the hair, I guess.
No.
Apparently it pays to wake up 20 minutes early and do your hair.
No, it's not the hair.
It's the blazer.
No,
the lashes.
It's the new lashes.
Rachel, Jay, go take a timeout and chill. Wow, you guys are getting heated.
Oh, boy. I think in the interest of time, Samia, because we're almost ready to wrap up, I think we better go with Rachel.
Which one?
The jacket that broke news now. Ooh, I keep blocking it. Do you like that one?
Congratulate Rachel.
Well, hold on. I mean, I'd have to officially do it. So, today's cleverest thought of the day, quote of the day, which we loved what you guys come up with, is...
Wait. Jane Wilcox thinks it looks like a flat...
stand by. Hold on. We may have... Rachel's just about out of her seat. Going...
We pulled up this image, and Jane Wilcox chiming in with, this looks like a flattened football helmet. You're not that impressed?
No, I liked it. Remember, we talked about that one.
Oh.
I thought there was a brand new statement we hadn't heard about.
Jay Deering, Cali has no water, yet we can build a bigger stadium. Come on, Jay Deering. $1.7 billion to water? No, to football. You're still on, Ron.
Professor Bland says the stadium will not look like this. They never pick the cool designs. They pick the ones that fit the most people. This is just to hype the project. There's some truth to that.
The truest quote of the day. All right. You can decide still.
Well, I think especially because we sort of like 80% of the way gave it to her already. Ladies and gentlemen, our best chat box line of the day goes to Rachel, the jacket that broke News Now. Look at it. It would have been so cool if it had just kind of been hanging there all day. Look how bright it's practically brighter red than our super red in our paint scheme. It's amazing.
All right, guys. Congratulations. Thank you guys for joining us. It is now 12:30, meaning I should go sneak off and get some food so I can come back all energized for our afternoon edition of FOX10 News Now.
I actually think you've been pretty energetic already today.
Well, it's because I had breakfast.
That makes a big difference. I know.
Yeah, guys. So thank you guys, as always, for joining us here on News Now, sharing your comments, your questions, your concern. Even if it gets heated, you guys keep it civil, and that's what I respect about you viewers. As long as you guys can keep it civil, feel free to share your opinion.
Yes?
We appreciate it. We love reading your comments. And those of you who are new to News Now, I noticed some newer names in the chat box. Not sure if you've done it already, but I'd encourage you to go to youtube.com/Fox10Phoenix, hit that subscribe button, and then go to the App Store. Download the Fox10 Phoenix app. We are on iOS devices, Android devices, whether it's your tablet or your smartphone, whatever it is you use. Download that Fox10 Phoenix app. Hit accept when it asks you if you want to receive notifications. That way you'll get push notifications, which are just like text messages saying, hey, FOX10 News Now is live right now with this, this, and this. You just click it, and boom, you're watching us here.
I think that is now my favorite way to enter the portal. Is through the News
that what
Now
you do
app.
when you get the notification when you're not here at work? When you're at home and you just get the notification, you're just like, oh my gosh, I gotta tune in.
Yeah.
One day,
I just go to the app.
Tune in this afternoon and type in the window.
Dr. Dancer.
Be Dr. Dancer in the chat window this afternoon. We'd love to have you here, Ron. I still have a lot of topics I didn't get to this morning because we had so many live events. But don't fret, I will bring you those conversation topics this afternoon. Again, we'll be live at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's just 2.5 hours away.
Maybe by 3 o'clock, like Professor Bland says, they'll have the new boring design for the NFL stadium ready to go.
Oh, Professor Bland. Good one.
Bye, everybody.
And I'll be chatting with our usual reporters and anchors that like to stop by in the afternoon.
Good.
Don't want to miss it. Make sure you guys go get some food now because I don't want you guys missing a minute of the afternoon edition of News Now. Bye, guys.